Welcome to the Trading Sliders Podcast. Here we go, episode number 78 of the Trading Sliders Podcast. How's everybody doing out there? I'm Bobby Puckett. Here with me in studio is Kurt the Flash Bennett. What's going on, Flash?
I don't know much, man. Just enjoying this day after 2 days of racing.
Yeah, that's we had a double shot this weekend. And hell, I was picking up sticks.
Yeah,
out there. Plenty of that to do with the way the wind's been lately.
Well, I've been riding around looking for a lawnmower. So
yeah.
it's springtime is pretty much here.
Yeah, it's unfortunately we got to work on shit.
Yeah.
This week's guest is Devin Gilpin, the Brownstown Speedway Dirt Late Model Dominator, 6-time Dirt Late Model Track Champion, 3 modified track championships at Brownstown Speedway. Throw in a couple of modified track championships at Moeller Raceway Park and North Vernon, I guess Twin Cities Raceway Park at the time when he was there.
Yeah.
Late model track champion at Eldora Speedway, Southern Nationals Touring Series champion, 2-time mini stock track champion at Thunder Valley Raceway, and a 3-time UMP modified national champion. The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
So needless to say, our guest this week could talk about any type of racing that he wants.
Yeah, he's even drove sprint cars.
Yeah, and he even drove a non-wing sprint car, made the No Way Out 40 one time.
Right, yeah.
So this week's guest, Devin Gilpin, out of, I always say Brownstown, but out of Columbus, Indiana.
Yeah.
He lives in Columbus, but just the kind of adopted mayor of Brownstown.
Right, yeah.
So that's this week's guest. I know we say this each and every week, but please take care of the people that take care of us. If you're in the Kentuckiana area and you have any type of diesel truck work that you need done, one of these big words I can't say. If you need a diagnostics, is that
diagnostic.
How you say? One of those words. If you need that done, anything that you need diesel truck related, reach out to Diesel Boys LLC. Our deep dive is being brought to you by Kentucky Clutch and Performance. If you need any type of automotive clutch, this time of year we've been fixing a lot of tractors. Getting ready for grass cutting season, or they tore them up from the snow season.
Yeah,
and that's in the same week.
Yeah,
that's the same week.
That could be two different days.
Yeah, yeah. But if you need any type of clutch, automotive clutch for any type of application, reach out to Chris and the guys at Kentucky Clutch. Our slider of the week being brought to you by Walt at Speed Decals. Did you see Walt last night?
No, I didn't see him.
He was up there where you was last night.
I was walking around everywhere, but I didn't see him.
But our slider of the week being brought to you by Walt at Speed Decals. If you need any type of vinyl work done, race car lettering, signs, banners, all kinds of stuff, reach out to Walt at Speed Decals. Our crash of the week being brought to you by Dio Handyman Remodeling. The weather is nice outside. If you need anything done, decks fixed, windows fixed, trims fixed around the windows, door jams fixed, anything handyman related, and your husband, boyfriend, your boyfriend won't come over because your husband's there. Whatever situation you have, reach out to David. He'll get you taken care of. 812-989-5002. And our racetrack spotlight being brought to you by our good friend Jeremy Thomas at JT's Trackside Catering. This week, Jeremy Thomas is on the road again.
Yeah.
He spent the weekend catering for. We got friends in high places, Flash.
Yeah, we do now.
Yeah, we got guys that cater for the World of Outlaw Tour. We've got past guests and friends of the show that bring you the races on Dirt Vision and Flow.
Yeah.
And we're about to talk about a new partnership. But
it's pretty cool too.
If you need any type of catering done, no event too big, too small, Thunder over Louisville, Derby, just go to the racetrack if you can get a hold of him. If he's not on the road,
I've already got my order in for Thunder. So
Flash is ahead of the game on that. But reach out to Jeremy Thomas at JT's Trackside Catering. And our Bandit race car question of the week. If you need any type of shop work done, Brian is super busy right now. It's the reason why he wasn't at Florence racing this weekend.
Yeah.
He had some customers bring some cars from Illinois. But if you need any type of race car work done, he's probably going to kill me right now for saying this because last I spoke to him, I think he had 6 or 7 cars in the shop.
Yeah.
But we got to do our part. We're going to push him. So if you need any type of shock work done, he is a Fox Shocks dealer. Got better at that this week. Reach out to Brian Barber and Bandit Race Cars. And we got a new segment that we're starting. It's kind of like PTI's Around the Horn. It's called Pounding the Cushion. It's a new segment we're starting this week. But we want to say thank you to Trenton Berry and RacingDirt.com. If you're a fan of the United States Modified Touring Series,
yeah,
and you want to follow along RacingDirt.com is a streaming platform. They cover the Heartland Modified Series, the Heartland Late Model Series, the Northern Light Modified Series. It is your home for open wheel modified racing, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a new segment, Pound the Cushion, and it's being brought to you by RacingDirt.com. All right, got the sponsors in.
Yeah, we got new in there, kind of.
Yeah, so. we something we're gonna get into here in a second, and when we talk about it. But news of the week, Flash. First, we're gonna start off with World Outlaws lost a guy on the national tour for the late models.
Yeah. I hate to see that, but
subsided the cost of racing. We kind of figured some of this was gonna happen, not this soon.
Right. Yeah.
But we're gonna talk about that.
He probably pulls the furthest all of them than anybody.
Yeah.
Where he's at. Yeah.
Yeah. So Logan Seavey goes wing racing for the weekend.
Yeah.
So we'll discuss that.
Is that just for the weekend, or is that going to be a?
Well, it's
we'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah, it's a little complicated.
Yeah.
But he's going to run some events. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And our past guest segment, we're still looking for a sponsor for this.
Yeah.
But the sponsorless past guest segment had a huge weekend. We had guys from all over the country, winning in all over the country.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And then we're gonna talk about our new Pounding the Cushion segment. That's it's kind of like around the horns, PTI's around the horn.
Right.
We're gonna swing it to different parts of the country.
Yeah. That's good. If you're gonna steal something like that, we might as well give them. Give them a shout out on it anyway.
if we take it, we're gonna let you know that we took it from you.
Yeah.
Unlike some others, but if we take it, we're gonna let you know we took it. And speaking of that, so what we're gonna do is it's gonna be sometimes maybe 2, sometimes maybe 3, sometimes maybe 4 guests around different parts of the country that we're gonna do over the phone.
Yeah.
It's not a deep dive interview. We're still having our deep dives.
Right.
But it's just to let you know what's going on, what went on that weekend. Quite frankly, honestly, between Kurt and I's schedule, we're gonna be at the racetrack quite a bit, but we're not gonna be able to be there as fans a whole lot. So Kurt could get to do a little bit more than me.
Right.
So we thought, what better way to bring in what's going on everywhere. As the question we had a few weeks ago, how do you guys watch everything?
Yeah.
It just got a little tougher.
Yeah.
So I think I've got 51 nights at 7 states this year.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though.
Yeah,
it should be fun.
It's going to be something.
Better do it while you can.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be something. So we're going to start off. And we had our weekend race trips that we're going to talk about. So all that and much more. We're going to start out though on a somber note. Former sportsman champion James Wayne passed away, and Flash and I went out to the James Wayne 25 Friday night in support of the family.
That was pretty cool. They put that together like that.
Yeah, on a short notice. But James was a guy that I didn't have a whole lot of dealings with him, but every dealing that I did have at the racetrack, he was always positive. I know one night he tried to kill you, Flash.
Nah, not really.
But that's just racing.
Well, his son was in front of me, and it was the first time I'd been in a Ford, and I busted him in the ass 2 or 3 times coming off the corner because it seemed to me like he was stopping, and I hadn't been in those cars, and he was upset at me, but that's no problem. I mean, it happens every night, especially if you're with your kids. I mean, so I didn't hold no grudges over that.
Yeah, but James was always a super cool guy to us, and a fierce competitor.
Yeah.
Former sportsman track champion. So
he was always fast too.
So thoughts and prayers to the Wayne family. All right, Flash. Jake Tim dropped off the World of Outlaw tour. So we're in our first month. We've already lost a Lucas guy, and well, I guess. Was it McIntosh or was it who was actually in the car?
Right.
Because there's been 4 guys in it.
Yeah.
So the Billy Hicks car is off tour. They're going pick and choose, run regional.
Right.
Now Jake Tim's like, guys, we're stepping back. We're going to race what makes sense. Which, as you said in the opener, I mean he does have the farthest drive out of Minnesota to follow a tour. So sucks. But he's a guy that's been touring, basically his whole career with the USMTS stuff. So I think they know what needs to makes sense financially.
Yeah.
I hope this isn't from our month-long speed weeks we had. I hope this isn't a sign of times.
Right.
Because as we got another interview coming up in the next week or two that we've recorded, we're going to put out there. But the tire bill alone for speed weeks was $30,000.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of insight on racing a touring series. So
yeah, so I hope this isn't a sign of things to come, but we'll see. I mean, it's maybe it's just one team in a financial crunch, and it's not all of them. So Logan Seavey and Chad Boat joined together with Spire Motorsports. It's like Logan Seavey said, I want to do some wing racing, so I'm going to get two of the major players in all motorsports.
Yeah, to back me.
Yeah, I'm going to get Chad Boat and CB Industries, and they're going to work with Spire Motorsports, and we're going to go 410 wing racing. At first, when I seen this, I was like, oh my God, we're losing another non-wing guy.
Yeah.
But we're not yet. We're not yet. He's still fully committed, and Tony Laporta, past guest, did a little admin rundown on this. Basically, what he was saying was he's not leaving USAC yet. Is the way I took the report.
Right. Yeah.
So what's happening is they're going to run select time and limit races. Basically, from what I was gathering, it's basically going to be when USAC's off and the midweek money shows. Is basically how I read in between the lines.
Yeah.
But from what I'm hearing, Chad Boat's wanting to go full-time, have a full-time wing sprint car. So maybe even have some Toyota backing and stuff. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll have to see. But for now, the USAC Triple Crown champion isn't going nowhere else. But he had 3 pretty solid runs in his, not debut, because he's even won a few wing races before. But
right.
He's not very let's keep it straight kind of guy. So
yeah, he likes to throw it in the corner.
Yeah,
yeah. It's a little different animal when you got a wing on top.
Yeah. So, but Logan Seavey gonna do a little wing racing. Hope it's just a little. Because non-wing don't need to use.
We don't mind him making extra money, but
during the week, but don't leave. I'm sure there's a lot of guys like, man, go ahead, bro.
Yeah,
do you?
There's plenty of them saying, yeah, man.
Yeah, we're proud of you. Yeah.
You just put a word in for you.
Yeah. So, our past guest segment, Flash.
Yeah.
So, Ricky Lewis does Ricky Lewis things. He just decides I'm going to win 3 consecutive USAC CRA Avante Windows endorsed CRA sprint car races. This time was at the Paragon Speedway. Started 6th. I guess I'm assuming he was quick time again. Started 6th.
Yep.
Took the lead with 4 laps to go in a wild finish out there in California. The Heartland Mod Series this is going to be covered a little bit when we do our Pound the Cushion segment. But Big Daddy Joe Duvall decided I'm going to stop in and on my way to Lucas Oil Speedway and take you guys money Friday night in Big Daddy fashion. He ran a car that it was. Well, they said it was an old car, 7 years old. Yeah. Well, he was at a shop. His old car is still in pretty good shape.
Oh, yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot of old cars there.
There wasn't nothing old there. Yeah. Really. It didn't look old, that's for sure.
Big Daddy Joe Duvall took the win there. The World Outlaw Late Models Friday night down at, I'm going to need help, Magnolia?
Yeah, Magnolia.
Okay. I'm getting better at that.
Yeah.
BP32 decided, you know what?
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and take the win here. And Northern All-Star Modifieds, past guest, Ben Harmon took the win in Northern All-Star Mods at Florence Speedway. We'll talk about that.
We got one more we got to add to that list, though.
What's that?
Caden Puckett.
Well, he wasn't the past guest, though. I didn't interview him yet, Flash.
We had his dad. We're going to start calling Ricky Caden's dad anyway.
Dad, yeah, see, that's where Uncle Bobby dropped the ball.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that in our weekend trips, but Uncle Bobby was supposed to interview him over the winter, and we didn't get the interview yet, so that was on me.
Yeah.
But real quick, we're going to jump into this new segment that we're going to do. It's called Pound the Cushion. So basically, what we're going to do this week, we're going to cover the Heartland Modified Tour stuff that went on in Kansas. We're going to cover the Crate Late Model Racing UCRA that went on at Tazewell with Brady Cup. And then we're going to cover the Northern All-Star event at Florence Speedway with Jackson Barber. So it's kind of we're just going to throw it back and forth to the 3 guys. They're going to give you a rundown of what happened. This is something that we're going to try, going forward throughout the summer. Hope everybody likes it. Give us some feedback. But here it is, Pound the Cushion. It's time to Pound the Cushion, presented by RacingDirt.com. Up next on Pounding the Cushion segment, this is a buddy of mine that he's kind of going to be my guinea pig. I got this idea and I said, Trenton, what do you think about this? And Trenton, being the nice guy he is, he says, oh, that's going to be great. But Mr. Trenton Berry, Racing Dirt connoisseur, running a couple series, deals with the racetracks. First off, before we ask about your busy weekend, how do you manage to pull all this off week after week?
Well, I don't know that it's really much that, a lot of other people don't do. We're all in on racing, and there's a great group of people. So, it's like the whole package has to work. You got to have great racetracks to work with and great promoters, which we do. And kind of chief among them for us is Todd Staley, that owns the USMTS and the USRA. And, on the late model side of things, we're excited to work with Kenny Brown and Talon Turner and Power Eye. So you gotta have some good people right at the top that are really helping keep the ball rolling for you, and great tracks and racers. And, there's three of us in Heartland Promotions, my business partner, Stick, and Racing Dirt with me. And we also have a gentleman by the name of Eric Chesterman, who's our race director for all the Heartland Promotion stuff. And, he really takes the bull by the horns there, and we work really close with him. But, he does a lot of the heavy lifting for our Heartland Promotions events. And, just like it's just kind of like a new thing every day. We just wake up and work on something every single day, whether it's 10 degrees outside and gray, or it's 80 and sunny like it is here in southern Missouri today. So we just stay after it like everybody else. Try to always meet people, try to put a smile on people's faces, and let them see what you're all about. And the other part of it too, you got to have anybody that's successful in racing's got to have a great group of supporters behind them, and partners and sponsors and those kind of folks. And I'm telling you, man, like, we have got the best group of people standing behind us, helping push this thing along. And so really just grateful to have that combination that keeps everything going.
Well, your product speaks for itself. I've come out to a couple of your guys' events. I love your style of modified racing in the Midwest, and that's the reason why we're doing this, because we've got a different style of modified racing here, and I guess we're the central Midwest, here in the Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois area. Yep. We kind of got open mods, and you guys got a little bit more restriction modifieds, but man, your guys' racing, your product produces, and this weekend. I'll let you talk about it by seeing where a former guest of ours, Big Daddy Joe Duvall, come down and played in your stomping grounds a little bit.
Yeah, he sure did. And he called me in the middle of the week, and he said, hey, I'm gonna come race with you guys Friday night. He said, I just want to be up front. I'm gonna go practice Saturday night for the King of America, which is coming up this weekend at Florence Speedway. And the distance between there and Humboldt, Kansas, is about 2 hours, and a lot of people make that swing. You can make that overnight or the next day or whatever. It's just real reasonable travel between the two. And Joe was really good at that King of America last year. Lucas Oil is one of his best racetracks that he races on. And but man, I was tickled to death to have him Friday, and I appreciated him telling me, hey man, this is good, but I got to go practice for this race next week, and he's going to have as good a shot as anybody to get that done next week too. I got no doubt about it. But man, he was on fire Friday night. We had a good group of cars, and he was really good from the outset. That's a little bit older MB Customs that he had. It's about a 7-year-old car, and said he run some used tires, at least on the front of that thing. And it was kind of cool to see. Joe's one of those guys. He's been very successful in business. He is 100% first generation self-made. Like he's the kind of cat that everybody dreams about in life.
Yeah, he's the American. He's the American story. That's what I told him when we interviewed.
Dude, he is. He is, and he's made it by hard work and grit and refusal to just throw the towel in. And that's how he lives his life. That's how he races, and he's world class. I could go on and on about Joe. He's wonderful, and he races our Southern Series for points typically, but this Heartland kind of our central tour. He just kind of dips in and out whenever he can make it work with his schedule and whatnot. He's got a ton going on outside of racing, and I was thrilled to have him. He ran good. He wins his share of races here and there, but to my knowledge, and I'd have to go back and look here, but I don't believe that he had won a Heartland Mod race yet specifically. But it's great to have him, and we had a good race. Racetrack was good, had a good crowd in the stands. So all in all, it couldn't have been a better way to open the season,
And then, so as you guys open the season up, because you're about like where we are geographically, it may be 40, it may be 70, but with the weather being nice, I'm sure that helped with the crowd and just everybody's emotion at the racetrack. Because a lot of times these early season events, you get guys that's there because they want to race, but they're like, man, let's get this night over with. And this past weekend where we were, everybody just seemed like they were just happy to be there because the weather was so nice.
Yeah, it was great. It was, man, it's kind of like a reunion almost. It seems like, and our weather was fantastic too. We got legit hot Saturday afternoon, about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. We touched the mid 90s, depending on whose weather app and whoever's truck thermometer you looked at. It all kind of varied 2 or 3 degrees, but it was consistently in the mid 90s there for about 3 or 4 hours, and that's a little bit above the norm. We hit this time of year. It's not uncommon for us to hit 75, 80 degrees. We don't usually quite hit mid 90s, but hey, I'll take it because it was like 10 degrees Monday morning when I woke up. So
yeah, exactly. We had snow. We had snow here in the first part of the week.
Yep.
So how'd Saturday go? Was the crowd good Saturday? Was it a good weekend? And who took the win Saturday?
Yep. So the crowd was actually a little better Saturday night, and this Humboldt, Kansas is a Friday night racetrack. So, but the Saturday crowd was actually even just a smidge better than Friday night's was. And Bobby Williams, who was our defending series champion, he was our series champion, our rookie of the year, which that doesn't happen a lot in touring races, but it was how our series worked out last year. But he won that, and he hadn't quite gotten a win yet. He really, what sealed his fate last year for his championship was he out-qualified the rest of the field consistently. And so he was able to start on the first or second row almost every one of the heat races. And, in our deal, we don't have any nannies, and there's no gimmies. You earn every position you get. We don't do inverts. We don't do passing points, which is kind of a shift from what the norm had been for modified racing in our area. But that's the way that we've ran this. But he broke through Saturday night and finally got the win and led the entire way. He pitched a perfect game, man. He was quick time. He won his heat race. He redrew the pole and won the feature.
Well, not only do you got to be good, but it helps when you have the luck on your side that night as well.
Sure.
Redrawing the pole, he almost won twice and didn't even know it.
Yeah, that's right.
And
our redraw is the top 8 when we run 4 heat races. So your winners only redraw amongst themselves, and your second place redraws amongst themselves. We do that because we get about a 10-minute intermission most of these places, and so we get a chance to pair some kids with some drivers and let the kids redraw them. Sometimes we have stuff for the drivers to sign and hand to the kids. And some nights we have some pool balls that we redraw with, and we do different things with it. But it's kind of a nice chance to get those drivers, get their helmet off, get them in front of the grandstands, and hear just a little bit about what they're all about. So the redraws don't really make or break you. It's more just kind of semantics with what we do, but it's a nice opportunity to add something there to the program.
Well, I'm a big fan of what you guys got going on over there. I catch heat for this a lot because I say you guys are the real modifieds. IMCA started it, and UMP took it to the extreme, and you guys met in the middle and almost figured it out. So that's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong. I appreciate what you guys got going on over there. And where can we find you next? And when's your first late model event?
Yeah, so our first late model race is not till May, and we're going to get our three modified tours off and rolling. And obviously our bread and butter is the television for the USMTS modifieds in conjunction with the Staley family, and we're back in the saddle for that one again. And that one's going to roll off next weekend with one of the biggest modified races in the country, the King of America. I mean, it's a true crown jewel modified event. So it's going to start next Thursday. So we'll have that on TV next Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Heartland Promotions has got a couple of weeks off, and we're going to be back with it in Moberly, Missouri on April 17th. We've got a 2-day weekend. We're going to go there, and I-35 Speedway just down the road in Winston, Missouri. Heartland late model, or Heartland Mods late models. The Northern Lights is going to start the 1st of May, and we'll get rolling with the ARMS series down south as well. So each one of those series have their own website. Each one of them have their own My Race Pass profile, so you can just search all those out. All the television stuff's Racing Dirt TV or RacingDirt.tv will get you there, or RacingDirt.com, either one of those. And of course, we got social media channels for every one of them. We had a long winter. It was nice to shake some rust off, and there was definitely some rust on our part.
Everybody, get out, check them out. We appreciate Trent Berry coming on, being my little guinea pig for this little around the horn thing that I'm trying. I thought of, well, I didn't say I thought of it. I kind of stole it, but we're doing it in the racing terms, so this is original, okay? But Trent Berry, check him out. Racing Dirt, he does great things for the racing community, and we really appreciate you coming and hanging out with us, Trent, and we appreciate it.
Thanks, man. I'm thrilled to be a contributor to this, and looking forward to a great season.
Here we go. We're pounding the cushion. Brady Cup's kind of this. He's a buddy of mine, but they had an amazing event down there at Tazewell Speedway this weekend under new owners. Brady, tell us a little quick rundown. And how was the crowd? How was the car count? How was the first night at the Bad Fast Tazewell?
Hey, appreciate you having us on, Bobby. Last night was a good night. Of course, new ownership, Brian and Paula Smith. Brian, a former racer out of southeastern Kentucky, took over the track last fall. Been a lot of hard work and sweat equity put in the last couple of months. New lighting system, new PA system. Reworked the track just a little bit to make it a little bit racier, hopefully. We tried a new format last night with our local racers, doing a hot lap qualifying, doing heat races. But anyway, last night went very well. Our last checkered flag fell at 10:40 for a race night. That's not bad. Last night we hosted the United Championship Race Alliance for a crate late model feature. Travis Fultz, local hero, became the only back-to-back winner of the Jim Barnwell Memorial last night. He led all 40 laps of the crate late model feature. Had a good little showing for that. Had 22 cars signed in. Trevor Sykes out of Knoxville ran second for most of the race before he broke a drive shaft and had to drop out. Young Griffin Smith, the younger brother of super late model standout Garrett Smith, he finished second. Brandon Williams out of Crossville, who started 8th, he finished up 3rd. Had a good night of racing all the way around.
So was the crowd good? Because I was in the Midwest this weekend, and it was 82 degrees, and you would thought it was midsummer. I mean, we were packed to the gills. So did you guys have a good crowd? Because Tazewell, it's not like in a real central location, but you guys always pack it in.
We had a good crowd. It wasn't a standing room only crowd, of course, but of course, this time of year, March, there's a lot going on. There was below us, there was a threat of rain. We know several people had called the track, said, hey, it's raining in Sevierville, it's raining southeast of Tazewell, you guys still running. So I don't know if that did anything, but we had a good crowd. Talked to a lot of folks last night after everything was over with. Got a lot of good feedback. A lot of folks were happy. Just happy to get back out and see some racing.
So what you guys got coming up next at Tazewell? Tazewell is one of those bucket list racetracks, and it doesn't have to be for a super late model. The crate late model, the limited late model, the late model sportsman. Hell, even the street stocks are fascinating there. So what do you guys got coming up? When can they find you next at the Bad Fast Taz?
We got this coming Saturday night, March 28th, will be our first regular show of the year. On the program will be our crate late models, sportsman late models, classic cars, street stocks. And last night we I don't want to say we debuted it, but we had the Crown Bigs last night. We've added those to our weekly show. We had 10 Crown Bigs show up last night. So that's a class that's not growing not only here in East Tennessee, but all over the Southeast. It's a good, affordable class to get into. Some of these younger drivers want to get into get some seat time. So anyway, we've got that coming up next Saturday, March 28th. Want to mention 2 weeks from last night on On Saturday night, April 4th, that'll be our biggest paying race of the season. That'll be our annual Little Bill Core Memorial, and that will be sanctioned by the Schaefer's Oil Spring National Series. That will pay $21,000 to win for super late models.
$21,000 Super Late Model. So the next 2 weeks, you guys can get out to Tazewell, check them out. The Smith family, took over the facility, and I've seen they're doing a ton of upgrades. New lights went in. So we say this every week. Please support. It don't have to be a local racetrack, but support a racetrack. Get out and support. And Brady, we appreciate you coming on and here pounding the cushion. Little around the horn segment we're going to do. So thank you, sir.
I appreciate your time, Bobby. And for fans out there, they can go. Of course, we're on Facebook at Tazewell Speedway. We can also check out our new our new website, and that's TazewellSpeedway.net.
And last but certainly not least, on Pounding the Cushion, the new segment, we have Jackson Barber, the son of Brian Barber and Bandit Race Cars. He was at the legendary Florence Speedway last night, and when I say legendary, it produced last night. But Jackson, thanks for coming on, my man.
Yes, sir, Bobby. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
So let me have it. I was in Indiana last night. I couldn't get down to Florence Speedway. How was the car count? How was the field? How was the racetrack? How was the crowd? And you don't got to tell me how the weather was, because 80 degrees is lovely for opening weekend.
Yeah, man, the weather was great, and that just made the night just start out great. And the car count was great. I mean, 3 classes, 92 cars. The fans, they said that was the biggest crowd ever for the Spring 50, so that was really cool to see. And, the racetrack, man, was awesome. They said last night that they put a bunch of new dirt on it, and, man, it was awesome. There was a cushion.
Whoa, hold on. There was a cushion at Florence Speedway, like a real cushion.
Yeah, you know, Josh Rice and Mike Marler, they about flipped about 20 times apiece down there in turn 1 and 2. And, man, they was getting after it. It was an awesome race. But Justin Ratliff was poking right around that bottom, and Rice actually had a failure in the rear end with 4 to go, and it allowed Justin Ratliff to get the win.
It's really intriguing or fascinating that Justin Ratliff only races about 7 or 8 races a year. And he's always up front. Led laps last year in the Jackson 100. Picked up a big Northern All-Star, $10,000 to win, opened the season. For a guy that doesn't race as often as the rest, he sure always seems to find a way to the front.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's super impressive for a guy that, really is kind of overlooked. I mean, his dad owns a national touring car, and Jason Jameson, who everybody knows is a beast around the regional area. He gets overlooked, but when the Rattler rolls into town, he's definitely a competitive car, and he showed last night that he can win with the best at Florence, because it don't get better than Josh Rice at Florence.
Now, Josh Rice at Florence is almost a give me, almost like, let's just go ahead and, write that check type thing. They have the Northern All-Star Modifieds there, and a lot of times, after the late model feature at Florence, the track is wore out. But I seen on social media, and I'm gonna let you talk about this, but I seen on social media where everybody was talking about how good the track stayed for all 3 features. So how was the Northern All-Star Modified A main?
Yeah, the Northern All-Star Mod main was good. Ben Harmon led from green to checkered, and he was challenged by Jimmy Lennox a little bit, but he was able to kind of keep a steady lead and was able to pick up the win. But, man, actually the battle for, like, 3rd, 4th, and through 7th was tight, and they was moving around middle, top, bottom. They was everywhere on that place, and I was really impressed because, like you said, after the late models, normally that place is whoever can stay on the bottom and not get off of it and mess up is going to win the race. But it wasn't really like that as much last night, even though the race was won around the bottom. But back to the field, man, they was moving around everywhere, and I thought it was really impressive, and I think Florence has made some improvements for the season.
Ben Harmon, former guest of the Trading Sliders podcast, picked up a win. We've had a bunch of former guests of the Trading Sliders podcast have good weekends this weekend. One thing I want to ask you, with y'all season this year and your dad, building so many cars, working on so many cars, you know, you guys couldn't make the Florence event because he had work obligations. Well, actually, hold on. He couldn't make the Florence event. You made the Florence event. You know, what is y'all's plan for the season? Well, what exactly are we going to do? We hitting and missing. We running for a track championship. What's the plans for the Bandit Race Cars House Car? Because I know how busy he is, and I know he can't just race like he wants to. So what is the plans for the season?
The plans for the season is hit the big races around Kentucky and all the Cumberland Plateau races around the Kentucky area and the other Cumberland Plateau races that make sense for us. And we want to venture up to Illinois and Indiana and run some more on the Hoosiers. And we want to run some with try to do there's a big race at Red Hill that we're wanting to try to do. And there's some more that we're just wanting to try this year and venture out. But now Dad stays busy with what he's doing, and so it makes where we can't race as much. But this year we're going to try to go a little bit more than we had the past few seasons, and we're going to open up in 2 weeks with the Cumberland Plateau Series at Ponderosa Speedway.
Well, I will see you there, my man. I haven't got fired from that gig just yet, so I will see you there. But appreciate you coming on, giving us a little rundown of the Florence Speedway there in the Spring 50. It sounds like it was a good night, a good car count. It was kind of the theme this weekend all throughout the Midwest. Hopefully the weather stays good and we click off some pretty good racing here. We appreciate you coming on, my man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, Flash. That was the Pound the Cushion segment.
Yeah.
Great insight there, especially getting guys from the Midwest like Trenton Berry, Racing Dirt. Like I said, reach out to Racing Dirt. He said you can find all their social media and stuff. You can find all that. But, we're going to cover the big boys of modified racing, basically.
Yeah.
USMTS and everything out there throughout the whole summer with Trenton Berry. And Brady Cup, the voice that I've worked with down there at Tazewell Speedway. They had a new owner there at Tazewell, the Smith family, out of Barberville, Kentucky. They put new lights up. They put new speaker systems in. They're making big improvements. Ended up with 24 crate cars down there for their opener. And then, Jackson Barber, which I already had that playing before you went to Florence. But
right.
so we're still going to do our in-depth coverage.
That's no problem.
But I know Jackson.
Jackson was on the backstretch. I was on the front stretch.
So. Exactly, yeah. but I know Jackson, and I think you two are going to pretty much say the same thing.
Yeah.
I won't tell you what he said until afterwards. But, so that was the new Pound the Cushion segment. Pretty neat little deal there that we stole from PTI. So
yeah.
I hope everybody enjoyed it. All right, weekend race trips. So Friday night, Flash and I made our visit home to the Jeffersonville Sportsdrome Speedway, located in Clarksville. Mike still hasn't explained that one to me. I don't know how that one still works. For the 80th season opener for the James Wayne 25 Memorial. First off, I will say, did you use the bathroom, Flash, at the sports show?
No, I didn't.
Well, Mike did make some upgrades on the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
But I had to give him a little bit of crap though. We got a sink that's below your knees now.
Oh yeah.
So the block you pee over is higher than the sink. Basically, you wash your hands in. I was giving Mike and Mike said, well, there was an incident that happened. Kids climbing on the sink and got hurt. And I may or may not had to go to court over it. So, So evidently there's a height regulation.
Yeah.
If you're below a certain height, you can't get in trouble for it.
Right.
So
ADA stuff. Yep.
Yeah, but you know what? I think they're well below the height.
Yeah.
I think it was like, we're not going to give you an opportunity.
Right.
So made the trip out to the sports show. Marcus Elliott took the win in the James Wayne 25 Memorial. Opened it up. Basically, it was Marcus Elliott is the class of the field.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't even a conversation about it.
No. He was. And usually first night at the Drome, usually everybody qualifies and they start straight up. So we kind of knew what was going to happen anyway. Whoever qualified up front was probably going to be there. So, but it didn't work that way all the way through the night.
So. No, it didn't. But for the sportsmen, it did.
Yeah.
And as we got to hang out there. Got to hang out with our sponsor, your cousin.
Yeah.
D.O. Handyman Remodeling was there hanging out on the front stretch. One thing Tanya said, she said, when you go to the Drome, it's almost like going to a family reunion.
Yeah.
You see everybody, different pockets. You see everybody that, because we don't, we go to the Drome once or twice a year.
Yeah, so we get out there.
So it's tough to get out there and and see a bunch of people. Honestly, so that was pretty neat. So our slider of the week this week, Flash.
Yeah.
It really wasn't a slider. It was a tribute to Flash.
Yeah.
I
sent him a message today on Facebook about that too.
Yeah. So our slider involved no slide job this week.
Yeah.
But Caden Puckett, my little nephew, started 5th and won on the top.
Yeah.
So he, I guess, got into 3rd about on lap 3 or 4. And then he was about, I guess, 2 or 3 car lengths behind.
Decided that wasn't good enough.
Yeah, and then when he caught the first 2 guys, instead of riding there, he just said, "Hey, Flash, hold my beer or hold my Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Watch this." And he rode up to the top side and just did what Flash does. I was like, "Damn, Flash, you been talking to him?" Because I probably would have knocked him sideways.
Yeah.
I wasn't there very good at the top at the Drome, but
yeah, he impressed me.
yeah, he did a hell of a job. I told him there, and I said, "I'm proud of you, buddy." I even gave him the coach talk.
Yeah.
I gave him the everything you did right, plus the one thing you did wrong. I did have to tell him, "Hey, you did, be careful doing this because you will get crashed."
Right.
But he was like, "Yeah, I know." But I was just so excited. He told me after the race, "Uncle Bobby, my arms are tired. They used to run at 20 laps.
Yeah.
Those extra 5 laps got to
Doesn't
me."
worry about, huh?
Yeah, I said, "Boy, get off the PlayStation, hit some push-ups."
Oh, yeah, wait till mid-season.
Yeah, when it's hot. Well,
And it's 40 laps in.
Yeah.
I think they still do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I
they
think
used
so.
to.
Yeah. So, but overall though, it was a good trip out there. Good night.
Yeah.
I love
and the powder puff races too. They were great.
Yeah.
I thought. I mean, as far as I mean, those kids and all them girls can drive, which I've had my butt whooped on asphalt and dirt by girls.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Kennedy, she
yeah.
I told a few people there, I was just joking. I said, it's kind of unfair. She gets to run the powder puff. She's won an A main at Brownstown.
Yeah.
And Circle City. And should she really be picking on the girls?
Yeah.
And, one of the guys told me, "Well, we don't discriminate here. I mean, she is a female." So, well, okay. Yeah, my bad.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, but...
I could identify that way, I guess, and go back to run with those girls, but I think they would beat me.
Yeah.
It was fast.
Flash, don't. We're not going to do that, man. We're just going to talk about it,
Yeah.
all right? But overall, fun trip to the Drome. I like what they're doing with the powder puff and the Future Stars thing.
Yeah.
Give the kids an avenue to race.
Yeah. And racing real race cars, not.
Yeah. Yeah, not go karts.
Right.
Yeah.
Give them something to try so they can work their way up.
So I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
So I got into the pits to go do the picture, and I may or may not have snuck in the pits because they were still practicing.
Yeah.
And so I walk up and I tell Mike, I said, "Hey, Mike, it's your track. You do whatever you want. But, I mean, if these cats want to practice, shouldn't they been here, during practice?" I said, "I'm trying to get my picture taken. I done snuck in your pits.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to get hit by a moving car."
Right.
And he said, "You're right. Let's get out of here." So Mike walked up and told Dean, "Last practice is wave the checker." So I pushed the pictures along.
Yeah.
So because I knew I was going to have a late night the next night.
Right.
So, but yeah, it was a fun time over at the Drome.
Yeah.
The Saturday night, Flash went to Florence, and I made my way to Paragon. We'll let Flash talk about Florence first. Let us know what happened there at Florence Speedway, Flash.
Yeah, man. We was heading down there, and I've heard people talk. They redone the racetrack, and I was like, man, this is either gonna be bad or good. And then I got down there, and you really couldn't tell a whole lot that they done to me, But man, those the King family down there, I guess they're the ones that still running.
Yes.
Yes, they know what they're doing on that racetrack.
Yeah, Josh, he's
That's probably. I don't know if I put it in my top 5 before, but it's in my top 5. I mean,
well, last year I went to Florence and watched a wing sprint car race.
yeah,
And I told you, Flash, I was like, holy hell.
yeah,
This place it's an excellent late model track. But it might be a better wing sprint car track. I mean, it is really, Florence Speedway, when it's right, and it's more times or not, it usually is.
yeah.
When it's right, it is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Jackson told me it had a cushion, like a real cushion.
Yeah, it did.
He said not the wall. It actually had a cushion.
Yeah, it had a cushion for all the heat races. You know, usually you go down there, the heat races kind of suck, and then the features are always good. I've never seen a bad feature down there, I don't think. But the heat races were, man, they were some of the best heat races I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and then they had a Dasher Cash, paid $2,500, four laps, $2,500, and that was awesome. That was a slider fest there. I mean, it was,
trading sliders approved.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, all the heat races were great, and come feature time, it was probably had a cushion probably 8 foot off the wall. When they started the feature, they didn't do anything to the track the whole night, not one thing. Didn't even pull anything out there. So they started the late model feature, 50 laps, and at the end of 50 laps, they were just starting to scrape the wall with the spoilers. It was
pretty good.
It was perfect. Yeah. Well, now 1 and 2 got a big hole in it, so it had a lot of character. So everybody was going in there and biking up on that. That was running the top, but you had to run the top to be fast.
That's just part of it.
Marlar stuffs in the wall and got going again, but they'd already thrown the caution, so he got the blend. Got the blend. So
the famous blend rule.
Yeah, he was about a straightaway behind at the time where they had the blend, so he'd come back out in third. So, and in his interview, he talks about how much that helped him too.
Yeah, well, I like Mike Marlar.
Yeah,
I dislike the blend rule.
Right. Yeah.
Because here's my stance on it.
Which he never stopped though.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But if the caution comes out for you, you are the caution.
Right. Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the 360 rule in the sprint car.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. Probably the next to last lap, Josh Rice was hoping they would have thrown the caution when he hit the wall and did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
Yeah. So. well, I seen where Rice broke something in the rear end.
Yeah.
But Justin Ratliff started 14th and took the win.
Yeah.
Mike Marlar started 16th and ran second.
Yeah, he had to come from the B. He broke a drive shaft in a heat race.
And Rod Conley rounded out your top 3. And this week's guest, Devin Gilpin, I think ran 5th.
Yep.
Yeah. So
yeah, he did good.
So overall, good show. Yeah,
Devin got up and led some laps. Yeah, it was an awesome show. I mean, the whole every race was great last night.
And then in the modifieds, past guest Ben Harmon took the win over Jimmy Lennox and Justin Clark.
Yeah.
I think Justin Clark, it was his first or second modified race, wasn't it?
Ever. Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be tough.
So overall, good night there at Florence. Crowd was good. Flash sent me a picture. Crowd was massive. I mean, almost it wasn't quite a north-south crowd, but it was pretty damn close.
Yeah, it was close to it. That's what we used to, me and Billy, my buddy, we was talking about it, and it was about as close as you can get to the north-south crowd.
Yeah.
They sold out. I think they did sell out of food right there at the end, so that was pretty good. They had that figured about right.
And then Saturday night, I made my way to Paragon Speedway for the No Way Out 40. Crowd was amazing. I mean, the hillside, it was parked on the hillside. It was super, super crowded. Racing was phenomenal. But I'm going to start with the bad first.
Yeah.
One complaint. If you go to Paragon, now this is the third time it's happened to me. So if you go to Paragon Speedway, you must eat on the way.
Yeah.
Because the concession lines are like in the pits, they were lined up past the lineup chute all night.
Yeah.
I went down there one time and the girl that was working the concession was just sitting there crying.
Yeah.
I mean, she done mental breakdown.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's a good problem to have.
Right.
But it's still something that probably needs to be addressed. But there was 32 sprint cars, and this was a night, if you just looked on my race pass and didn't go, you'd be like, oh, Swanson started on the pole and won. Damn.
Yeah.
That wasn't very good. Well, that's why you have to go to the races.
Yeah.
First off, our crash of the week, being brought to you by Dio Handyman Remodeling, goes to Harley Burns out of Brazil, Indiana. We had about 9 cars get upside down, and there's a couple of them tore up bad.
Yeah.
One of them tore up really bad. Going in turn 3 in hot laps, Harley Burns bikes it up. As he bikes it up, Flash, the right front catches the cushion on the way out and pogos him.
Oh, man.
So he flips probably 5 or 6 times, but he landed nose first on the flip.
Yeah.
After being 25 feet in the air, landed nose first, tumbled again, and then pogoed off the tail tank and right rear up into the catch fence, then back down on top of the cage.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an absolute...
Yeah, I seen the video you sent me of it.
It was a gnarly one. I was like,
bad.
It was bad. It was... I mean, it broke the engine plate. It broke the block off the engine plate.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a bad one.
Nasty.
And Michael Clark too took a he took a rough one too. He came down on the halo, went up 2 turns in the air, straight down on the halo.
Yeah,
nasty one. So, but fortunately, everybody was okay. I think Burns. He's gonna feel it today.
Yeah.
He had his gangster lean on.
Yeah.
He had a gangster lean on. But Jake Swanson started on the pole and took the win over Kyle Cummins and KTJ. And this is why I say you must go to the racetrack. Swanson started on the pole and didn't lead a lap until lap 36.
Yeah.
As actually, I take that back. That was the last lap 30s when he took the lead.
Yeah.
With 10 to go. But Robert Ballou took the lead. Ballou checked out for about, I think they went 14 laps before the first caution. Race had 4 cautions. No red flags in the A-main, thankfully.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, but had a monster cushion. I'm talking, I didn't walk out there after the races, but I would say it was a 24 to 30 inch cushion.
Yeah.
I mean, it was thick. The right rear of the sprint car, if they got the right rear over, the front dug in like it was plowing. That's how thick the cushion was. But Ballou was catching lap cars, but he was struggling really bad getting in on the cushion. And by this time, Cummins has already disposed of Jake Swanson. Cummins throws a slider on him, goes in front of him. Caution comes out about 4 laps later. They go back green, and Kyle Cummins is checked out. Kevin Thomas Jr., Trey Osborne, Jake Swanson, they're all just throwing bombs on each other. Then Ballou gets into the back of a lap car and spins out. Caution comes out. That's about lap 26.
Yeah.
Well, right before that, Ballou and Swanson was running Cummins down. I talked to Kyle after the race, and he was just a little tight on the cushion. He said he was turning knobs left and right. He just could not get out of the cushion.
Yeah.
He said so he sort of had to cheat the cushion.
Right.
Well, when he did, those guys were just blasting the cushion, and they were gaining 2 car lengths a lap. But Swanson throws a slider on him and caution comes out with 4 to go, and on the restart, Swanson nails his marks, and Cummins just stumbles a little bit, and that was it. That was the race. But overall, great night. I mean, great night of racing. Just fun night. Weather was nice. It was beautiful. And surprise, Zach Sasser won the Superstock race. Doing what Zach Sasser does.
Yeah.
Around the bottom, dangling donut. But I want to give a shout out in the Superstock race to Cale Keaton. Started 17th and ran 4th.
Man.
All on the top.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just banging the cushion. So, but overall, it was a fun night there. Paragon Speedway it was badass. It was she had a little moisture to her.
Yeah.
Talked to a bunch of our past guests. Trey Osborne, hell, I gotta come back on now since I had my first USAC win.
Yeah.
I said, man, I'll get with you. We got a bunch going on. We're going to make the schedule work.
Yeah.
But this week's Bandit Race Cars fan question of the week, I figured it was kind of a good one since we went to the Drome Friday.
Yeah.
This would be a good week to answer this question. It came from Kim from Jeffersonville, Indiana. So she's over in your neck of the woods, and I'm going to say she's been to the Drome a time or two by the way she worded this question.
Oh, yeah.
So
I've been there a few times.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, and you're going to be there on this one too.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about fighting at the racetrack and intentionally crashing people? I go to a local racetrack. She didn't name the local racetrack, but I'm assuming it's Sportstrom.
Yeah.
Been in Jeffersonville because the only other local racetrack would be Sportstrom.
Right.
Yeah, because I go to a local racetrack and it seems like they condone this.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of this? Because I'm not very comfortable taking my kids to the races.
Yeah. Well,
I'll let you go first, Flash.
I've been on both ends of it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I've been the instigator probably.
Yeah. And the de-escalator.
Been on the recipient of it too. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just passion for the sport that a lot of guys have. I mean, especially out there because I don't know. It seems like asphalt racing has a lot more of that in it too. I mean, because I've ran dirt and asphalt, and I never had near as much trouble on dirt as I had.
But the one time we did have trouble on dirt,
trouble.
it was a lot of trouble. Yeah, it wasn't just a little, wasn't a scratch. It was a lot of trouble.
Right, but now I I grew up back when, well, I grew up at the Sportstrom. So from the time I was, like you said, 2 weeks old.
Yeah. So as our buddy Leonard would say, he's used to it.
I used to see when the guys would line up one end of the straightaway and the other end and hit each other head on.
Yeah.
And then build a new car for the next week. So it's just, I was kind of used to it, I guess. So I can understand where she's coming from if she hasn't been there a whole lot, or it's just
well, here's
sometimes you go to the fights and the race break out. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the the Sportstrom. I don't think I know Mike. We are friends with Mike Gibson.
Yeah.
He doesn't condone it. He doesn't want any insurance claims.
Right. Yeah.
Because the possibility of somebody getting hurt. I've heard people say that this is good for the sport because it keeps people engaged. And did you see so and so got somebody?
Yeah.
Well, for somebody that's, as Flash said, been on both sides of this.
Right.
I've hit somebody head on.
Yeah,
I was that guy.
Yeah.
I've also been crashed. I've also been the guy that's thrown punches at the racetrack.
Yeah.
I do not condone it at all. I think it's bad for the sport.
Yeah.
And this is somebody that, for people that think it's good for the sport, you've never put a clip on a race car.
Right.
Because you don't know how much money, energy, and effort goes into that.
Yeah.
And if you think the fighting is good, apparently you've never been busted in your damn mouth.
Right, yeah.
Because
that's no fun either.
There's no fun either.
Yeah.
And I've done both.
Yeah.
I've put clips on cars. I've tore up race cars. I've thrown the punch. I've received the punch.
Yeah.
I've done all the above.
Yeah.
And I am not I know I sound like a hypocrite, but there's just certain things that doesn't belong in the sport. It's what sets the sport back.
Yeah.
The sport gets a bad rep for being, redneckish as it is. And I'll say it, everybody's got a little redneck in them.
Yeah.
We all do.
I mean, if somebody spins you out there, 9 times out of 10, they're going to have a rough time getting around you the rest of the year.
Yeah.
That's just the way I used to race.
But here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
I hate when someone says, well, that guy wrecked me on purpose.
Yeah.
He cut my tire off on purpose. You know how hard it is to cut somebody's tire off
yeah.
on purpose and not cut yours off? I've tried. Do you know how hard that is?
It's almost impossible.
Yeah. So, just...
Yeah. And we're talking about this, and I just seen a cool picture last night on there, which involves your family member.
Yeah.
Ricky. 2 guys that wanted to kill each other last year.
And then now they're working on it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a funny story about that.
Yeah.
So Raymond called me when that whole thing went down.
Yeah.
And Raymond called me, and he was upset. He goes, and like, first off, I'm like, Raymond, what the hell you call me for?
Yeah.
I wasn't even there, bro.
It was a Hopstock.
Yeah, I'm 200 miles from you.
Yeah.
So Raymond calls me, and I call him back Sunday, and he said, and Raymond, he goes, dog, we gotta stop this. I said, dog, we wasn't there.
Yeah.
He goes, well, we can't be tearing up race cars. I said, hold on a second, Raymond. You're famous for tearing up race cars.
Yeah.
There was a wreck that happened. Did you think it wasn't going to happen back?
Yeah.
And Raymond hits me with, yeah, you're right, dog. You talk to Ricky and I'll talk to Matt. And I said, okay. I mean, I'll talk to him. We're older now. Yeah, you don't want to tear up a race car. And so it's just, it doesn't need to happen. It's ridiculous for people who thinks it's good for the sport. It's not good for the sport. It's not going to bring nobody in. If you bring, as Kim said, if you bring your kids to this and you see guys fighting and it escalates into the stands,
right.
Somebody gets hurt. It's not any good.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think it's as bad as it used to be out there, though. Really,
no,
I mean, I really don't. I think they've got it under control pretty good.
Yeah. If you think it's bad now, Kim, you would have not liked 15 years ago.
Yeah, you've not made it in the 80s.
Yeah, 80s and 90s would have been rough for you.
Yeah.
So that's it. We're going to get off here and listen to this week's deep dive. Kid Dasco Devin Gilpin. It's time for the Trading Sliders Deep Dives presented by Kentucky Clutch and Performance.
Lines up top, gets a little sideways. Wallace now to the inside. Gilpin now going to go back to the outside of Wallace. Gilpin throws a monster slider on Randy Lines. Holy cow.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, on this week's Trading Sliders Deep Dive. We have the most decorated regional racers that wasn't ready, obviously, because he's moving the microphone around. 6-time late model champion at Brownstown Speedway. 3-time UMP national champion in the UMP Dirt Car Modifieds. Not so young no more, but still going to be young in our heart. Kid Dasco Devin Gilpin. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man.
Yeah. I'm going to let people know on Inside Baseball. We just sit here with Devin and watch the, you want to call it, what was it, the race DRT? Sorry, the race DRT. We just watched it Facebook Live, and we're just going to tell Cody right now. He flipped the table over. He's cussing you and everything else. Nah, I'm just joking. But first off, thanks for making time for us. We know, as we can tell, we got race cars all around us, and it's a busy time of the year. Especially now that you got kids, it's like you're always running behind. I know how that is. But we really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's been a long time coming. I know we've tried to get this deal going for a while, and it just took a while, but. Thanks for coming up, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, Devin and I, we talked at Lake Cumberland last year, and then he said, come up this week, and I said, I canceled on him, and then he canceled on me. We're like like a couple. Yeah. No, it's your fault. So for people that don't, actually, if you're listening to us and you don't know who Devin Gilpin is, first off, you need to find a new show to listen to. Yeah. But we're just going to put that out there. But you started racing so young. And I didn't even tell everybody about the 2 mini stock track championships at our hometown, Little Salem, Thunder Valley Raceway. But it seems like I've been watching you race for over 20 years now.
Yeah, it's been a while. I got started in go-karts when I was 5, but I didn't get to really race them a lot because my grandpa and dad was always racing on Friday and Saturday nights somewhere. So I was basically a Sunday at a place called Searland. It's a road course asphalt track, and that's where I raced there a bunch just for fun. And then when my grandpa quit, we built a mini stock and went to Salem, and that's where I learned how to race, was Little Salem. My uncle promoted it, so we supported him, and that's where it got started.
Maybe one of the best racetracks in the state of Indiana that is the most overlooked. Yeah. Thunder Valley, I love it. I absolutely love it, especially when the tabletop was gone. Yeah. Thunder Valley, there was a Northern All-Star late model race there, the original Northern All-Star late model, and I think Mike Marler won
Mike
that.
Marler
yes,
won it.
Yes.
I think he did.
Yeah, I got a pretty good memory.
My uncle, he still reminds Mikey that he lost like $8,800 that night. So yeah, he always remembers Mike Marler won. Yeah.
Well, if you're not going to make any money there, then if that's the case, because that place was absolutely packed. I mean, for Thunder Valley.
Yeah. I always say, like, Thunder Valley, they need to somehow figure out a mill bridge of Thunder Valley.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. I've been saying that for a year now.
Build the wall up, do something, and get them on the wall, and have micros and a mill bridge of Thunder Valley.
Well, I've been saying that for ever since we started the podcast. Almost 100 episodes now. I've said that from day one. Like, please, we not only because we're in sprint car capital of the world. I mean, you're late model, but I mean this is actually you're almost an extinct division right now. Really, except for Brownstown right down the street. But as far as the state of Indiana, I mean, this is sprint car racing. And our kids, all kids, you can transition into modified, stock cars, everything. But we got to start somewhere, and that would be a hell of a place.
Yeah, I've seen what they've done down there to take this mill bridge. Nick Hoffman's brother-in-law and sister transplant this place from weeds and to come up with all the signs on the backstretch and race through which are in a great area. They got all the NASCAR guys and NASCAR kids and NASCAR crew chiefs coming, but they have a racy damn racetrack. Like, I find myself freaking watching the races because the race is awesome.
Yeah, the races are awesome there. They don't get no better than that.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. I mean, Millbridge and Thunder Valley can be like this, and I'll tell you another place that can be like this, and a lot of people the fairgrounds. Hold on, Devin's getting a phone call. You got to answer.
No, it's my mom.
Okay. Well, she's mad too.
Yeah,
Cody, she's pissed too. Okay, you done pissed off all of Brownstown. But I know Keith was trying to get trying to get it, but man, I really wish somebody would do something with Twin Cities Raceway Park. North Vernon there. I know it's big for micros, but just that is one of those places that's almost a hidden gem. When it's right, it's really good.
It's got to be right, though.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've thought about that, too. Like, could you go in there and make it maybe like a Fairbury, make it smaller? You know, it takes some work, a lot of work, but it's just another racetrack closed, and I hate that. Like, it's not like it was when I was a kid. You know, talking about late models kind of being extinct around here almost, you know. Back when I was a kid, late models was awesome around here, you know, like Brownstown would be loaded.
There were 75 late models at Brownstown every Saturday night on a regular show.
Yeah, I mean,
it was crazy.
You about need to live in Illinois to be a late model guy.
Well, that and I got a theory on this. I could be totally wrong. When us, as in Indiana, and I'll throw Kentucky in there too, because I'm from Louisville, we stopped running super late models and kind of ventured towards the crates. In Illinois, there's not very many crate. I mean, they've trickled in, but they've just had late models. You don't got to be super. It's just late models. You know, there's not very many wide bore motors over there. You know, there's a lot of steel block stuff. And you know, we didn't make that transition. We just, you know, we cut the balls off right then and said we're going crate racing.
I said if I maybe had it to do over, I might have went sprint car racing, just because I use this analogy. Like, you could bring Carl Kinzer on a Friday night to Bloomington, and he could come and look at Grant's car, and it wouldn't be foreign to him. He could look at it and be like, okay, let's do this, do that, do that. You bring Ray Gotze, Russ Petro, and these guys and have them come look at this thing. It's like,
what the hell is this?
Yeah, you know,
this ain't like what we used to run.
The technology has just gotten so extreme, and it's kind of took the fun out of it. But you know, you just got to be a freaking engineer to work on them anymore, it seems like. And then all these teams are hiring engineers, and it's getting tougher. But it's still fun, and we still love it.
Well, you have to. It's kind of like we talked about this, but we didn't. I was going to ask you about the technology, but you know, you're one of the last regional racers. I made this analogy a few months back. I said Devin Gilpin is the Don O'Neill when I was a kid. Don O'Neill was the last regional guy that was like, all right, come on, big boys, we're gonna try this.
Yeah.
And then he got a break, and you know, he got to go, you know, run some stuff. But you know, for the most part, it was a family-owned team that just figured it out. And you're the last one of that. And when you look what you've accomplished at Brownstown, yeah, sure, you haven't, you know, won 35 touring titles. But the names that's on the list at Brownstown Speedway, and you've won the most track championships there, like, how do you ever just sit back and be like, okay, I'm happy with this. I can do this.
I look more on the wins list. Like, the track championship deal, it's probably easier now than it was.
Don't say that.
Than it was. Just because the sheer number of guys that was there that could win. I just look at the wins list. You know, we're creeping up to 6th, 7th, somewhere on there, you know. But you say I haven't won 35 net. I've never raced for one.
Well, I agree with that too.
People think that, like, I think people think I don't need anything. Like, you know, I used to have a big truck and trailer and roll two late models out of it, and like, I think people just think, like, man, this guy's just got all the money and he don't need any help, or he don't need a ride, or, you know, I'm always looking for a ride to go Lucas Oil racing, or.
And I tell you who else is looking, Grandpa. Grandpa's like,
that's right.
Yeah, I tell you who else is looking.
That's funny.
Grandpa's like, can somebody, anybody.
That's funny. But no, honestly, he likes racing more than I do, I think. So he's the one that still wanted to keep going. But, you know, it's just weird, man. It's like people, I get overlooked a lot, but, you know, we still keep it on. But, yeah, Brownstown's been special to me. Just that it's how one of the Northern All-Star races this past year, we blew a motor in our Longhorn, hauled ass out here, and I drove the car up there. And that was the first time I ever did that. People's asked me if I've done that, but we drove the car up there. So Brownstown's a special place for us, and just been lucky enough to be good there.
Well, and here's the thing, though. When you look back, and you've kind of downplayed, you say, well, the championships, it's probably a little easier now because of sheer numbers. You guys still have a very tough weekly race. I mean, you know, it's not like, okay, I'm going to win and who's running second. I mean, you got to work your ass off to compete. So it's not a...
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there is some good cars up there, and it's not a guarantee every time you're on the gate you're going to win. You got to work for it for sure. But Brownstown back in the day, I mean, it was freaking loaded. It was stacked. John Gill, Jim Curry, Bob Peary, just all the guys.
Steve Barnett, Mike Jewell,
yeah. Don O'Neill,
yeah,
Marty O'Neill. I mean, everybody. It was just it was incredible. I had a buddy of mine that he's the one that, so my dad got me into racing because I was born into it, but he was the one that traveled all over, and he once told me, he was a big pavement guy, loved it, but he said, the toughest racetrack in the country could win, and I'm thinking, well, it's Richie. He's going to say Salem or Winchester because that's what he's like, Brownstown. And, he's like, I liked when Purvis come up here. He'd get his teeth kicked in. He was just, he waved the flag for Brownstown. He absolutely loved Brownstown. And I do. We love Brownstown. And I want to ask you this because I find myself not, like when Brownstown has a bad night, because every racetrack has a bad night. It's not always going to be perfect. But when Brownstown, maybe they'll push the tires out too far, or maybe there for a while they tabletop.
I was going to tell you this ain't right on your table here.
What the hell? The tires got to be in the middle.
The tires got to be pushed out a little further than that.
Yeah.
If you don't know what we're talking about, we're sitting at a table and he's got Brownstown drawn on the table.
Well, no, this is Hobstart.
Oh,
he's got Hobstart. These straightaways are too long.
Yeah, my boy races these late models there.
Yeah.
No, this is definitely Hobstart Flash. This is not Brownstown. But when Brownstown doesn't have the best night, I'm not going to say I'm jaded because I've been there so many times. Just you're driving home and hell, you live in Columbus, so you got 20-minute drive, and I got an hour drive home. And it's like that damn Brownstown. But it's just because we become so spoiled over the years. It's not that we're shitting on the place. We're just aggravated that it's not what it could be that night.
Yeah. That's the thing. We're lucky to have Brownstown because it is such a good place to race. And, if you're faster than a guy, you can find a way around him because there's multiple lines. As a racer, that's about all you can ask for is a multiple groove racetrack. And you go to a lot of these places and it's low lit or it's only one groove or, I've always said that Brownstown is a premier racetrack, or if it wasn't, Lucas wouldn't come there 2 times a year, but, I feel really lucky to be able to have this place just right up the road here, and but it could always be better. There's no doubt it could be better. I always say the Uke tires is out too far. He's took the slider line away, getting into one. There's not enough room to make it work, and
the slider line is more of a pinch line now.
Yeah.
you got to pinch the guy and hope he drops his right front off just enough, not run him off the track, but just enough to screw up his entry.
Exactly. Exactly. It's changed a lot over the years. It's had different.
Well, I think it's got a little bit more banking now than it has. It's got a little more cup at the top. I don't want to say banking. It's got a little more cup at the top.
Right.
Well, I've said this before. Let me ask you this: being the king of Brownstown now, would you think Brownstown raced better if we had a wall up, so we can build the dirt up, build the cushion, move the Ute tires in where they belong, and then you got slider with something to lean on.
That is interesting because I've never ever thought about that, and now that I put it in my mind and think about it, it would definitely. I would love to scan Brownstown on iRacing, put a wall around it, and race it, and see how it changed it because it would probably make it better. I don't know if I would like it as much.
Yeah.
But
that's 35-year-old Devin Gilpin talking. That's not the 16-year-old.
I don't know if I would like it as much, but it would definitely. Bobby would love it. Josh Rice would love it.
Yeah.
It would change it a bunch. It would change the way it raced, but you're right. The cushion wouldn't. You would still have something there when the bottom came in late, but that's I'm going to be thinking about that forever now.
And I've said that because, I'm not, I love Fairbury, but everybody talks about how great Fairbury is. Fairbury's the best late model track in the country. I said, it's had its stinkers too. Yeah. I mean, it has. Yeah. But when it's right, it's because there's something to lean on up top and there's good at the bottom. So let's, racing, the cars have changed so much. In the 90s, Brownstown Speedway, in my opinion, didn't need a wall. because the cars didn't have that much traction, so you wasn't gripped up in the slick on the bottom.
Yeah.
You were pedaling on the bottom, and then you could use the banking you got.
Unless you was Don O'Neill and you just run the right rear off the corner and then jump back on the racetrack, get in the corner every single lap, and still win the race.
Well, as I say this, and I actually had somebody, a couple weeks ago, a guy told me, he said, "Well, you're just like Trump. You just want to build a damn wall everywhere." I said, no, I'm not going to say that, because like Bloomington Speedway is in my top 5 favorite racetracks.
Mine too.
But it doesn't need a wall. They cut a curb in the top, so you got something to lean on.
I love Bloomington.
Yeah, I love Bloomington.
Bloomington's probably one of my favorites when it's right. Like
yes.
Feature time when it gets black up to a cushion and you still got the little left rear traction ring around there. I love Bloomington.
Yeah, I love Bloomington Speedway. It's one of those places, when you walk in, it's just like, holy shit.
That's how they're supposed to look.
Yes.
Nice grass, red dirt.
Yeah,
it's good.
But when you're racing on it, it's like it feels like it's the fastest track I've ever been on.
It does. It's like it amplifies the speed for sure.
I mean, it feels like.
Well, you're always turning.
Well, it feels like you're. I mean, I've only run it in a crate car and a modified, so it still feels like you're turning 10-second laps, which is really turning 10-second laps in a late model. But
and it is fast.
So you've got 3 UMP national championships in the modifieds. Like people now, we'll say kids now, because everybody, it says, "What have you done lately?" So the kids, they see you at Brownstown and like, okay, Lucas is coming to town. He's gonna compete. If everything's right, he's got the shot. But what these kids don't understand was you were putting knots on heads and taking their lunch money in a time of era that. Modified racing was at its peak in our area in Illinois, Indiana. I mean, was it the impressive and your driving style? I mean, because at first you didn't have an impressive, did you? Didn't you guys build a car?
Yes, we had our own car that my grandpa built that I started out in.
Was it a Z-Link?
It was.
I remember.
Yeah, Z-Link
I remember looking at it one. Yeah, okay.
You know what you're talking about. I like your history. You remember a lot of old stuff too. That's
Bobby's
cool.
encyclopedia.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I love it.
Well, and the reason why I remember that because besides that. What you guys even call it anything?
Up front.
Up front, okay. Because I know Lightning. I know Joey Kramer had his almost the exact same deal. So Kramer and we're talking about the Slider Fest at Florence. Somehow Kramer ended up on his lid. We don't know if it's your fault or not, but
yeah, probably was.
But.
That was the 16-year-old me.
Yeah,
it was awesome until then, though.
Yeah. hey, Gilpin has got the most viewed slider on all of YouTube. All right, kids, listen. Get out your iPhone. I don't have an iPhone. I'm Android. I'm old. But get out your iPhone and just pull up dirt track slider. You don't got to put modified or nothing in, and then you'll get the best call ever. Poor Lions. The 16-year-old, he's probably 18 then at the time.
Yeah.
He drives it in and sells it cheap, as Jerry Van Sickle would say.
Yeah.
He threw it like, I'm sliding you regardless.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most watched sliders out of all YouTube. Actually, we don't have no copyright. I'm gonna put that up on the opening on this show. We're gonna put that up on the opening. So you ever just go back and watch those old videos and be like, that thing just don't really move. You're just driving the piss out of it.
Yeah, I go through showing my boy all these old videos, and it's cool. And I never dreamed that would have all the views it does. It's crazy. But, man, back then in the mod, I'll never forget it one night. Like, I got an impressive in 2009, and, like, it just clicked. And we won 21 races that year and finished second in the UMP points. Well, then we're like, hey, we can do this. Like, before then, it wasn't a thought, like, I could run up front in the UMP points. So the next year, kept the same car, 2010, go to Florida, come out leading, and we lead it all the way until like 3 weeks to go, and Mike Harrison passes me. And it was like the biggest dejection of my life. Like, God, I've led this points the whole way. And won 21 races again, just like I did in 2009, and finished second in the national points.
Was that the year that in the Big Dog 100 at Union County that you knocked the right front off? Was that the same year?
Real close to that area.
I think it was. Real
close to that.
Was it Harrison or Hamstra?
Well, no, Harrison outran us in 10.
Okay.
But Dan Hampshire was probably at Whitewater, Union County.
Yeah, I remember that because, I remember because you had Bloomington on Friday, Brownstown on Saturday. Sometimes we seen you at Hopstock on Sunday. Sometimes
I was more of a windy holiday.
Yeah. Sometimes, and then when Moeller opened, he was like, "Hell of Bloomington, I'm going to Moeller." As he just told everybody how much he loved Bloomington, he went to Moeller and beat up on McWilliams. He's like, David, I come over here and get you some of this.
Yeah.
I was thinking about him the other day. I'm surprised he got out of racing. I figured he'd been racing till he was freaking old man.
Well, him and Joey Kramer are two of them that when they said I'm done, I'm like, yeah, right.
Isn't Kramer still racing?
No, Kramer, he quit last year. He's done last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless he started back up. He sold everything off.
I thought he had a crate car or something.
No, he got rid of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got rid of it. And then he ran a modified for about 5 weeks, and then he just said, piss on it.
Yeah.
Rocket Man called it quits. I was like, damn.
I hate to see that, man. I'm just getting older and older, and I see all these other guys quitting. It's like, man, how much more time do I got? But
well, you're the old man now.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
You ever sit back and think, damn, how'd this happen?
I watch these Lucas races, and I don't like it. I'm like, where's Berkey and O'Neill and all them guys?
Yeah, it's bad when it's like, Shannon Babb, he's like, man, Shannon's my hero. Now, Shannon's old now. I'm like, what? No, when did he get old?
Yeah, time goes fast, ain't no doubt.
But when you was running for the UP National Championship, we had Gas City, and we had Lincoln Park that ran mods every week. You could find a mod race. Now, if a guy lives in Indiana, I feel sorry for him if he's got it modified.
I do too.
Yeah.
Because Circle City did pick up, but you can run Circle City on Friday nights, and then you can go to Lincoln Park on Saturday. But if you're running for a national championship, you're screwed the way they do the points per car.
You
can't do it. Yeah.
Can't do it in Indiana no more.
You have to go to Illinois.
You got to go to Illinois or you got to go to Ohio.
Yeah.
It's the cost.
Yeah.
These you're silly to have a modified in today's era. When they're $50,000 rollers, you might as well go buy you a late model.
I agree with that.
Because you can go to most of these races and walk into a $5,000 or $10,000 to win race, like a regional race, and get
$500
to start.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And if you're gonna go win the modified feature at Lincoln Park, it pays $600.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
There's 4 or 5 times last year I thought about bringing my crate car to where I knew they was only gonna have 20 cars.
You get your start
money. Get my start money.
Exactly. Yeah, you're way better off to have a late model in today's era. Back when I was doing it, I didn't feel that way. Like didn't cost as much as they do today. Like the price of a mod is crazy, and I don't know why.
And it's very unfortunate because mod racing is probably I'll say I've said this before. The Midwest mod racing, hard tires, spec engines, that is ultra competitive. Our mod racing now, what we have, the cars are hard. It's hard to win in, but it's not ultra competitive. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Down at Volusia, like it was 19 to 20 elites making it every night. It was just crazy. But hats off to Nick. He has built a hell of a business there and got an awesome race car. But the mods have changed so much in 5 years. It's incredible with all the load sticks and smashing and just the attitude of the car. And that's like these late models. I wish they would do something and get together and straighten these bodies up and even slow them down, like where we can race unhook the cars where you got a little off throttle time.
Now see, we might have Devin on every week.
He's gonna join the show.
Yeah, because he's talking my gripe where I done pissed everybody off.
Yeah.
I say every week we have to unstick the race cars.
Yeah,
we that's the
we
answer.
We have no off throttle time in the corner. You're just wide open all the time, and you gotta. It's crazy. So they need to come up with a rule that when you enter through the gate, they put some sort of tie on your carburetor. And if we're going to qualify on 900 or 950 or whatever these guys make, you're going to feature race on 900 and 950.
Yeah, so you're not a fan of the pucks, huh?
It's just,
I'm with you.
They're spending all this money just to qualify, and you got to qualify good. And that's been our Achilles heel. Like, we struggle qualifying. We're good in the feature.
Well,
we
let's
can
go. Let's
pass
go
cars.
pill draw. Let's go pill draw.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I grew up pill drawing, so I'm okay with that. But I would love to see something done with the cars to unhook them and put it more in the driver's hands. It's so car dependent, you know. Like you take Ricky Thornton and put him in a slow car, he's gonna run in the back. You take a guy that's a back marker guy and put him in Ricky's car when Ricky's was dominating, you know. You're going to be surprised, you know. It's a lot more race car than people think. I feel like guys that's not in the deal daily, just watching Flo, look and think like Bobby Pierce and these guys are just so much better than everybody else. Granted, Bobby Pierce is a once in a lifetime. Kyle Larson style guy.
Well, I'm glad you said that because just last week I had 100 people message me and tell me I'm absolutely crazy. And I said, when this is all over and done, I love Bloomquist. I'm a big Billy Moyer guy. But when it's done, because he's in his prime, Bobby Pierce is going to go down as the best dirt late model racer in the history of the sport. And people are telling me, you're crazy. I said, well, if he retired now, he'd be in the top 4 just off wins and crown jewels, and he's in his prime. So, you know, I'm glad you said he's a once in a lifetime because that was
well, just his talent. What he can do in a race car.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Like
he's one of the few that if it's not perfect,
he can will it to
get up on the wheel.
He can find a line.
And with these cars the way they are today, it's hard to what I call Don O'Neill manhandling it. The Rayburn days, getting up on the wheel and making something happen. It's hard to do nowadays, and Bobby's one of the few that can do it.
And is it just me? This is because I didn't even tell him how we were going to do our podcast. We just bullshit about racing. So is it just me, or if you were going to run a national tour? Take off. Don't worry about the competition. Don't worry about who's running who. I've said this, the World of Outlaw Tour, the tracks that they go to on a regular basis, you know, I love some tracks that, like Brownstown, and I love some tracks in Florence that Lucas goes to. But I feel like the World of Outlaw Tour goes to the racetracks. They go to more racetracks where it's a little bit more in the driver's hands. You know, their tracks are a little more racy. They hardly ever see them on a half mile. The World of Outlaw, they're never just rolling up in and on a half mile. It's always a quarter mile, 3/8. We got some banking. Let's slick off with character.
See, I didn't look at it like that. That's a very good point because I think you're right. I looked at it as a logistic thing. Like I'm looking at the Lucas, and I'm like, man, this. From home base here, you'd be way better off for me to run Lucas as far as logistics and miles. Outlaws goes everywhere. I didn't look at it as the racetracks are probably racier. I think you would be. I
think you would be better suited with your driving style for the Outlaws.
I agree. Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. Never thought of it like that.
That's what I said when they said Josh was going on the road this year. I'm thinking, well, he needs to go outlaw. I mean, he just like throwing over his shoulder and going. He don't need to go where he's got a pedal on the bottom. Like that's not his deal. I mean,
he gets to Brownstown Speedway, he's gonna be hurting.
Yeah. I mean, again, you know, that's Josh is really great race car driver. His race car wasn't as fast in Florida. You know, it wasn't like, you know, take Brandon Overton. He's a perfect example. In 25, you'd have thought he forgot how to drive a race car. Boom, the year 26 happened, he's a race car driver again. He didn't change, his race car got better.
Well, and I tell you why, that's because they're on the wrong side of Florida. You know, with East Bay being gone. East Bay, you had to man up. There was no...
That's a shame, man. Yeah, that's not there. Like, that's just such a unique place in history, man. I love the history of the sport, and it was just a staple for 40 years. Winter Nationals, you went to Tampa, but it's gone.
Yeah, it's one of those places, man. When East Bay closed, that was like a swift kick in the balls. I was like, God, man, why? Like, out of all the racetracks that could close, why in the hell are we choosing this one?
Yeah.
I've even made people mad because, you know, I pay attention to everything. If it races, I watch it.
Hold on, back to the top. You put Bobby fourth. Who's your third?
Davenport right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Who are you thinking?
Well, I think you got to put Donnie Moran in it because he won $1 million.
Well, yeah,
and he won 3 World 100s. Never won at Brownstown.
Well, that's because when he was racing at Brownstown, when, as you said, not me, your words, it was tougher then.
Well, I mean, it was hard for the national guys to come in and the travelers to come in and outrun Curry. And
Curry that wasn't a cherry picking place down the street.
Yeah, you couldn't come in and that's what sucks about today's deal. Like, I race Brownstown a lot, and when the freaking national guys come in, it's like they know something I don't know. You know, I mean.
Yeah, I've seen you run pretty good with them, though.
Yeah, I should have. I ran second in a Lucas race at Brownstown. They called it the Steve Barnett Classic. I think it was. I ran second.
That was the night that Owens ran him off the back.
I was going to win that night. I was going to win that night.
Yeah, the O show. I don't know.
I've not seen him do it before, and I've not seen him do it since.
I wouldn't say he fed him the right rear because I don't think Jimmy does that. But he fed you the right rear that night. I don't know if he just misjudged it, didn't see you, or.
I slid him and didn't care if he was. I knew he was going to hit the brake, and I was okay with that because I needed to be on the top. I was rolling up there.
Yeah.
Jimmy Owens has won Lucas Oil races before. I have. And God, I think about that one a lot.
I said Jimmy didn't give him a whole lot of room that night. I'll say that.
I still think about that one a lot. Like we had a car to win that night and didn't, but life goes on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you talk about it, and Lyons probably thinks about that slider you threw on him the same way.
I'm sure he does.
The same way. So.
But that wasn't a Lucas Oil event. That was a heat race.
Yeah. it doesn't matter. That was a slider and a half, man. That was one of those ones that I remember watching that. Was Chris Nunn on the call for that? Yes. Yep. I remember watching that one live because he starts screaming, and I'm like, Chris, sometimes you just gotta let it happen, man. Just let that one happen. Because everybody in the history that's ever been to Brownstown that's had 3,000 sloppy joes like me, seen it coming off too. Because Wallace turned down and Lyons got tight coming off the corner. I was like, oh, he's a sitting duck.
I think what makes the video better too is because it literally dumped 100 pounds of mud and dirt and right
across
in
his nose.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was it was one of those things I was like, when he threw it, I was like, this is either going to be really good or really bad.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you went and not only competed in the Southern Nationals, you went and won the Southern Nationals, and people that don't understand 2012, 2010 to 2016, 2017, the Ray Cook Southern Nationals isn't what the Southern Nationals is now. I'm not knocking the Southern Nationals now, but it was done at the time of year. The Summer Nationals was done, and that time we didn't race year-round. Everybody kind of took the summer off, so you got some national guys, and then you had guys like just a couple guys from the Carolinas named Chris Madden and Jonathan Davenport. That's where they cut their teeth. So you went down and won the Southern Nationals, which is crazy to think because it's not like the
only Northerner to ever win it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not like your driving style fits Southern racetracks. I mean, so how much of a learning curve was it?
I've never been to any of them.
Yeah.
Did you like? Well, let me guess. Out of all those you went to, you probably liked Tri-County and you liked North Georgia, and the rest of them you was just there.
I liked Tri-County. We went to 411. I liked that one. Swainsboro was okay that night, but it was rough. Withville was crazy.
Yeah. You drive from here to North Vernon before you turn.
Yes. Yes.
Place is huge.
And no joke, it rained. We was parked in the infield that night, and it literally rained 12 inches of. We had 12 inches of water in the infield, and they still raced. Like it was crazy.
One thing I will say about them though, the place is big, but it is hard packed. It's fast, but it's
all
not.
The water run down. I mean, the racetrack was fine. The pit area was insane.
It is fast, but it's not nowhere near as fast as it could be. Like it is.
Yes.
It's a big motor, but it's not a heavy racetrack. It's just big.
Was cool. Crossville was cool.
Yeah.
Crossville's probably one of the best racetracks in the country when it's raining. It's awesome. Crossville's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned this. Crossville. I seen Randy Weaver and Jimmy Owens have a race and a half. It was Ray Cook's Southern Nationals his first year he did it. And it rained and rained. It started
rained when we was there.
Yeah, they started. It was Well, because Ray didn't run any heat races. You qualified.
I like that if you're good, if your car's fast in qualifying.
Well, that's good if you've got 30 cars. If you got 50, it kind of sucks because on the pill draw.
Yeah,
it does kind of suck.
Right.
But you know, that place was so heavy. I thought there is no way this is just going to be right on the wood, and it just. Even when it was heavy, it was on the fence, on the bottom. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, I love Crossfield.
And then Tazewell, that's where we ended. It was, let's see, me, Ricky Weiss, and Donald McIntosh. It was a 3-way deal going into Tazewell. And
was McIntosh in the Ogle car?
The Blanc Motorsports number 7. Yellow number 7.
With the rocks on the door.
Right.
Yeah, he was in that car. And I'd never seen a racetrack like Tazewell.
It's badass.
It's awesome.
Yes.
Like and we ended up running second to Scott. Like it was cool. Bulls Gap's cool. It was a hell of an experience, man. It was hot. It was hot down there. I liked it's not Boyd's.
Yes.
Boyd's Speedway.
It's shut down now
I know,
too.
that was a nice place.
No, that place. That's where Kurt raced his first late model race.
My first late model race was Boyd's.
Really? Yeah, that was a hell of a place.
Yeah, it was fun.
McDowell's was running it then.
I was horrible first night. It was terrible.
Well,
but I did make the feature though.
The good thing about Boyd's though, it had a ramp where you come on the track and you ramped into turn 3, and then in turn 3.
And the wall coming off turn 2 is like jump out and bite you if you wasn't careful too.
Well, that's kind of like the Lake Cumberland wall.
Yeah.
The wall runs way out, but the racetrack's going to stay where it's at.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have a wall out there, but you don't need all that.
I tell you, that place is really coming up on my list.
Lake Cumberland?
Yeah.
Well, if Brandon could get us out of there before 4 in the morning.
There's a lot of things I don't like, but I like the racetrack.
No, I said this a few months back. In Kentucky, like Brandon Hargrove has got Lake Cumberland. He's got the surface figured out. 100%.
I love the race, and talk about fast. There's just something about, I don't know if it's the walls on both sides or what. Lake Cumberland feels like you're flying. I mean, it is fast.
And it's smaller than Brownstown.
Yeah.
They've got it listed as a 3/8.
No way.
3/8
is atomic.
Or Vernon.
Yeah.
I'm calling it a quarter.
It's a small quarter.
It's smaller than Brownstown.
It's smaller than Brownstown. It's about the size of Putnamville. It really is. Yeah. But you know what? Racing has got a wall out there.
It's got a wall.
It's got a wall out there.
Yeah.
See, now if Brandon could move the wall in 3 and 4 to where the racetrack actually is.
You're right. Yeah.
You know, because 1 and 2 is great. Entering 3 is great. Coming off 4, you're hoping for the best till you get back to 1.
I gotta give it to you. I'm impressed with your racing 101, man.
Now, I pay attention, bro. I'm telling you.
You do. I can tell.
You're not going to get much by me. I'm the type guy. I'm not.
Where we do this at on Sundays, he's got 3 TVs on the wall, and they've all got racing on the whole
time. He's did his homework. I mean, he's paid attention for sure.
So, all right, now enough about me. We're talking about you. You're the I'm going to do the quick math. You've 12, 13, 14, 15 track championships.
Well, you forgot to put one on there. That's probably the coolest racing memory of my life, and that's the World 118. We ain't talked about that yet.
Well, we're getting there. I haven't talked about the Eldora Track Championship yet either. It's progression. See, we're going to step into it.
I got you.
So, we're getting
18 at Eldora was a special year. I never thought I would race all the races at Eldora to win a track championship. But we set out that year. I was with Beeman in the Masterbuilt car. We're just going to go there and run every race to get better. And first night we unloaded and we was fast and we literally held that speed all year.
And he's like, shit, Jeep Van Wormer races here every week? What is he doing? Steve Casefold's here every week.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great cars there every week, and it just made us better for September.
Well, let's talk about September then.
Yeah. One of the few World 100s that I remember that actually happened in October.
Yeah,
it rained out.
It rained out. Yeah. Speaking of Eldora too, UP Fall Nationals, he was going to win, and then this is when everybody said he tire doped. He had a right rear tire blow apart. You don't remember the Fall Nationals right rear tire blow apart?
Well, was it the Fall Nationals that rained out? and we did it in April.
I think it was.
It may have been.
I think it was.
Yeah, it may have been.
Because I won my prelim, my first time I ever won at Eldora in 13. Won that, and then the next night was going to win and broke a right rear shock mount. And then I think they rained out on Saturday, and we came back in April. I think me and Matt Meaver was up front, and I think I blew a right
Yeah, blew a right rear tire. I remember I was walking through the pits, and I would tell you who it was if I remember who said it. I don't remember who said it. Somebody goes, see, that's why he's winning all those damn races. That tire never comes apart. He's tired open.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So how many times have you been accused for tired open or cheating up your crate engine what little bit you ran or, well, we ain't even going to talk about dirty sliders. We'll leave that one again.
You know, in the mods back then, I didn't hear about it. I'm sure it was probably going on, but I was getting, like, Sam was on me, you know, like, I couldn't get by with anything. Like, I'll never forget it when we found it up here one night. Like, we made some changes and it did this or that, and I went out for the heat race and was like, that's it. And we stuck with it for freaking 5 years and never wavered from it. And that's what, like, it's crazy how Papaw hit it, and when he hit it, we never wavered from it.
Yeah.
Well, and then you say Papaw hit it. Both of your grandpas raced. So your third generation racer, which technically is kind of like fourth generation because it's two sides of the family. Like with all, and your son, I seen the video where first off, you're going to bring him to our house. You got him riding go-karts just out in the driveway. You want to teach him how to race. You're going to teach him where I taught Ben Harmon to race. I got a go-kart track in my backyard. It's got some banking, and we set up cones and taught the slaughter line. So you got to bring him down to Louisville. You got to bring him down there and we'll let him cut some laps.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So we got track prep equipment and everything.
Yeah.
It's Ben's lawnmowers.
Yeah.
Get out there and roll that thing in.
Yeah, that would be great.
So how long are we going to do this? Because I know we got a little one coming up, and you talked about you couldn't start racing because you had to wait for Dad and Grandpa to quit. Is it going to be whenever he wants to do it, you're going to call it quits, or is it, do you got something we've got to do this before I call it quits?
No, I don't have anything. Like, I don't see the near whenever he wants to quit, my Papaw. But,
that's why Papaw's looking for a sponsor.
Yeah.
That's why he's looking for.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't know. Like, I look at Hudson. Hudson didn't grow up racing go-karts every weekend. He was watching his dad and learning. He drove every lap with him in them bleachers, watching what to do, what not to do. And then when it was... I think they start these kids too young. I mean, I started...
Says the guy that started at 12.
Yeah.
What the hell are they doing?
They start him too young. I mean... but no, I'm going to race him when he wants to race. I mean, I think he wants to. I'm not going to pressure him. If he wants to, we will. But, I think I still got, at least hopefully another decade in me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's going for all-time wins in Brownstown. He said, Curry, O'Neal, all you guys, I'm coming for you.
It blows my mind that we're talking about, this is the first interview that I've ever done where it's like, well, how much longer are you going to do it?
Well, I mean, it's just a legitimate question.
I know. It's just crazy to think about that. 35 now and getting up there, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah. I raced last year, and I'm 57 right now, so.
Yeah, Moyer's still going, so.
Yeah, and that's another thing, man.
Yeah.
Billy Moyer.
Well, Schrader.
Yeah.
Schrader's still kicking
Kenny
ass.
Schrader, still rolling.
I like what Schrader said. When are you going to quit? Well, when my crew guys decide that they can't put me in the car, they're going to quit because I'm going to fire them and get some more crew guys that can lift my fat ass up.
Yeah.
So
what was you saying about the Eldora, though? You was going to tell us about that.
Well, speaking of Moyer, I got to show you this picture. This will probably just give you a little more insight of my life and how much racing has meant to me. That's what I grew up sleeping in.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
See, well, you know what's cool is
That's pretty cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
My little nephew, he's outgrown it now. My little nephew's racing, so but his dad raced outlaw figure eights and figure eight car. So I took those little Ferrari beds, the car beds. Well, I put Lexan wings on the side of it, so it looked like an outlaw, and that's what he slept in until he got to middle school. Yeah. It was like, man, you gotta get you a real bed.
That speaking of figure eight, that was always interesting. Like, it might still be the case today, but back in the day, like, the 3-hour figure eight was always the same weekend as the World 100. Yeah. And like,
so still the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like my mom and dad would always go to Eldora, and my dad's dad, my grandpa Chuck, he would always go to Kitley, and I went to like the 3-hour figure eight like a couple 3 years in a row, and just amazed with that as a little kid. Like
it's fascinating, but for somebody that grew up in figure eight racing, I wish the 3-hour had a different name and it was 100 lap, 20,000 to win, because there's a lot of riding, and I'm just, like I'm of the fan of, the Lucas and World of Outlaw races should be 35 laps.
Yeah,
like let's not do 50. Let's race. I guess that's the sprint car mentality. I mean,
I'm opposite.
You want the longer race.
I like the strategy of the race. Who can save the tires and that part of it, But I get what you're saying. Like,
if you're racing, if you're the driver.
Yeah, if you're the driver. Yeah, I like longer races when I race. Yeah.
But there's so many World of Outlaw races I'll watch where I'll be like, dude, this would be so much better if it was 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Kitley deal, that was something to watch. Like that figure eight stuff is cool.
Yeah, that's I've won on figure eight racing. My dad's raced figure eight.
My dad raced figure eight.
Yeah, his dad raced figure eight.
It's crazy. Like at Brownstown, anyway. It seems like in the past 2 or 3 years, a lot of the figure eight guys.
Yeah, the Jesse Tunney, he'll come up and run. Yeah,
the Jack Dawsey.
He's going super racing.
I seen that. Yeah. It seems like a lot of the figure eight guys are starting to come around dirt. So
cool. They don't mind turning left and right. I mean,
there you go.
You're turning right the whole time.
Yeah.
And you're sliding around. Like, the misconception is figure eight racing is, it's carny sport, which it does. It's still got a little bit of that. I mean, it does.
See, I don't know the ins and outs of it. I just remember it as a kid.
Yeah, well,
I've not been in a very long time to watch it.
Well, hell, we might just go one night.
Yeah, I would love to. My kid would love it.
Yeah, well, no, don't do that, because then he'll be like, Dad, I want one of these cars with wings and shit.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about asphalt, son.
Yeah, I know. I seen him. You practicing him in the driveway. I was like, man, at least spray the water on the damn thing. Go get some pea gravel.
Yeah,
you need to get some gravel and put out there.
That's something I've always wanted to do. Those run Salem. Yeah. Always. I've always wanted to do that Halloween 200 or the Firecracker or something like that. Yeah. Like I love Salem.
Well, I'm gonna break your heart. I've done it. And if you're gonna run one, go run Winchester.
Yeah.
You'll like Winchester better than Salem.
I don't know. I like Salem though.
Did you like Salem?
I love Salem when I raced up there.
Yeah. I mean, I like Salem, but
I mean, we was on 7-inch tires.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it could be now.
Yeah, I'd love to run Salem. But Winchester's right up there. I'd love to go to Winchester too.
Well, the thing about Salem is, you almost got to kind of run the pinch line every lap. Where Winchester, you can row next to the guy, and you don't got to worry about he's not going to come up into you because the car will hold.
Right.
At Salem, it won't. It's the track's coming apart. It's rough. I mean, especially now the cars run so low. That's just a whole another different.
Ride height's so low. Yeah.
You got a lot of skipping at Salem. Where Winchester, you can just
we need to get these things taken to the drum one night. Get enough cars to go.
Yeah.
Put on a show down there.
Have you ever thought about doing any pavement racing? Because they did do some.
I took mine down for practice last year on asphalt.
I've not did any pavement racing, but didn't was it Ray? What series?
No. We're doing it this year.
Yeah.
I'm going to Lake Erie, Pennsylvania for the American All Stars.
The All Star Series going to?
Yeah, they're going to do a pavement race.
Really?
And then the Southern the Steel Block Series.
Last year,
oh man, what is that?
I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, it's the.
It was actually a good race too.
The Topless Outlaw Lake.
Outlaw.
Yeah, they ran it at Newport.
I can't remember where was it Ray Series like.
Southern All Stars did it for like 2 years.
All-Stars, yeah. Southern All Stars. That's it.
Actually, the first year they did it was when Dwayne Keith had it.
Yep.
Yeah, Dwayne had it for 2 years.
Keith.
Talking about race announcers.
Yeah.
Ric Flair with the woo woo baby. I love Dwayne Keith.
Yeah.
He's a guy that's just a little over the top, but that's all right. Coming from my fat ass, I'm a little over the top too. So.
Yeah.
So you've won in mini stock, you've won in late model, you've won in modified. I don't think you've never ran a street stock or a super stock or anything. I don't think I've ever. Yeah.
Nope, never. My dad had one night, and I hot lapped it at Salem. But as far as racing a street stock, no.
I'm gonna tell a story about him one night though. He was Don O'Neill your hero growing up?
I was more Gil.
Was you more
when
Gil?
I was a kid?
Okay.
When I was a kid, I was more Gil, and then when I got older, it was Scott. But I love Donnie too. Like, Indiana guys, man, I was always pulling for him.
Well, the reason why I was asking that, because I was at Scottsburg one night, and they're running modifieds with the Northern All-Star Series, and the car comes out, and, it's Kid Dasco on the side, and the car goes hauling off in turn 1 and 2, and I said, that's not Devin in the car. And Don was in your car. Don drive your car one night?
Nope.
You sure?
Positive.
Okay, it must.
Well, probably what you're thinking about is he ran was it 71?
Yeah, but I thought it was your. I thought it was
he
yours.
ran Joe Gotzi's car.
Okay.
Because they took it to East. Donnie won down at East Bay with it.
Yeah, that's the one that had the goofy cell panels. They did all the bead rolling on.
Yeah. It was Joe Gotzi's car.
Okay.
I can see why you would think that. Though.
Yeah. So he went down the corner. I said, Jesus Christ! I mean, he just barreled off at Scottsburg. I was like, man, I thought it was you. I was like, man, Gilpin's gonna be on his lid tonight. Like, this ain't Brownstown, bro. Chill.
I don't think I ran my mini stock at Salem. I don't think I never ran a mod at Salem.
Scottsburg.
Scottsburg. Yeah. Sorry, Scottsburg. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when you wanted the mini stock there. There's a little chubby kid standing on the front stretch.
Yeah. So, you remember it all.
Yeah, I do.
I hate that.
You was there. I just didn't remember. I didn't
well,
see
it's
it.
I go to the races 100 night a year.
Damn, do you go that many races?
And when I don't go, I'm honestly watching everything.
I'm watching. That's a big detriment to me right now. Like back in the UMP mod days when I was racing 80 nights a year, I was at my best. Being in the seat, like we're going to show up to the icebreaker and Huddy's going to have freaking 25 nights on me.
Yeah.
That you can't, that's hard to freaking race with. But when I was racing, I need to get back to racing more. It's just expensive, but I need to get back to racing more.
With the cost of stuff though, and where you're at, I mean, you have the Northern All-Star stuff. Tilly's not a whole lot in your area no more. A lot of his stuff. And Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even the Ohio stuff you could get to, but Michigan
Basically took over the ALMS.
Yes.
The one that come to Eldora.
That's what it's them. But we got what's DJ's new thing? Slinging dirt slinger.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's you can branch out and do a little bit more.
There's a lot of racing coming up.
We need a Mars series in Indiana. I mean, I know the Northern Austin James, but James is busy, and it's not we need something where we're going to run Circle City, we're going to run Lincoln Park, we're going to go to Hobstadt on a Sunday. We need that.
Yes.
I'm not knocking the series. I love what he's doing.
I love James, and I love what he can get the cars and the sponsors. Here's what I say, when Don O'Neill and Steve Barnett was winning Northern All-Star Championships, they didn't have to race with Scott Bloomquist and Billy Moyer every night.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, the Northern All-Star Series now, it's not really a regional deal. It's a regional geographic, but it's scheduled around the big guy, the super teams off weekends.
Right.
And that's not what we need. And I mean, I love it. I love it because it's better than the other option. We had nothing.
Exactly.
I mean, it's better than that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, because they pay great.
Yes.
James has got the best pay.
Yeah.
In any regional series.
And here's the thing. This may sound, because it's not my money and I'm not in the car no more, but they don't have to be 10,000. Make it affordable for the tracks where Tri-State will say, you know what? We will throw you on. Let's do 5,500 to start. With no entry fee, 25 laps, and you don't burn a tire off. Okay, or even 3,500. It don't have to be 10,000 every night.
No.
That's the misconception of late model. Yes, it costs a ton of money. Yes, it costs $500 a night to go to the racetrack. We get that. But in the same token, we gotta, for the kids that need racecraft, we need races. It's more important to have stuff where you just don't lose your ass. You don't have to make it that weekend.
Exactly.
Right? Yep.
I mean, exactly. I love the Northern. I wish it was double, instead of 12, 24. You said it. We need a Mars around here. We need a Matt Curl, a guy that, is not on Lucas Oil every week. He runs Fairbury. But, I can't thank James enough for doing what he did. Like you said, the alternative's nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
And he doesn't have to. I mean, he's on the road all the time doing Lucas. So for him to do what he does we all appreciate it. It would just be nice to have, DJ's trying, it'll be interesting to see what the future holds with his deal. I'd like to see the Ultimate Heart of America up it. It seems like theirs is going the other way. They would be at 20, then 16. It just keeps going. The schedule keeps declining. But I enjoy racing those races. And then
we need an old Battle of the Bluegrass, Northern All-Star mod, or Northern All-Star late model, the old deal where, you know what, it's not nothing for them to hit Bloomington on Friday, Putmanville on Saturday, and Terre Haute on Sunday, and be the Midwest Thunder Sprint Car Support Division, or you run first one night, whatever. But we need that conjunction.
You remember Indiana Late Model Week?
Yes. Yeah, we just talked about Tyler.
Like a sprint week.
Yes.
I remember it. Indiana Late Model Week as a kid.
We had it like 3 or 4 years, and then it just...
Yeah.
Was James a part of the original Northern All-Stars?
I believe so.
I think he was.
I believe so.
Yeah, and then the whole Spencer deal happened with the NARA, and he went there, and... Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong on that, but I think...
I think he was. Yeah. I think he was a part of the original Northern All-Star deal.
Yeah, so...
I think...
That's just something, we need late models at Hobstock. We need it at Lincoln Park. We need them at Bloomington. And I get all these racetracks, it's hard. It's sprint car country, and a late model purse is not cheap. I get that. But for the betterment of the sport, we need it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we're going to make it happen, but somebody needs to figure it out. I guess we're kind of like politics, man. Yeah. We got the answers, but we don't really have a solution.
Well, I don't... With flow, I don't know how you... It's tough. It's a tough landscape. I feel like the national stuff's getting bigger and the local stuff is going the other way, it seems like. But, I know people are trying, and that's all they can do, DJ and James, if it wasn't for them two guys, I don't know what we would do around here for
I'll tell you what you'd be doing. Racing. Your ass be at Brownstown running crates.
They went to 10 races for crates this year.
That's what I said.
Really?
They're
up. I think the crate guys are... Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
We only got 10 shows.
Yeah, because really,
that's only 10 times 5 cars going to win?
Here's the thing, though.
He don't go nowhere else, does he? Well, he does go up to Circle City every now and then, doesn't he?
But here's the thing, though. Like, even with the crate guys, you can go in Kentucky and race, but the damn rules are so different everywhere. Right. Nobody, you got to run hard tire here, soft tire here. You run it's kind of a juggling.
I don't know the landscape of the crates down there. I didn't know it was like what you're speaking of.
Yeah, it's kind of a juggling act. You got to have a seal. So you can run a fast track seal, or you can run a cruiser seal. It's just
the tires.
Every tire is different. Like I swear, I think in Kentucky, I think you can have 10 different right rear tires for the 4 tracks in the area.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's absolute bonkers.
I did not know that. I did not know that's how they work down there.
Well, the races pay good. It pays $1,500 for a crate race every week. But you're buying tires every week, so...
Here's what I don't get. You'll look at, let's say Brandon's flyer for the week, whatever's coming up. They all pay, every division he has pays way better than we do. Like, most Kentucky tracks pay better than we do.
On the top.
No, well, you might be right there.
On the top. Yeah, on the top.
So that you might be right there, because I've not looked at the rundown. But it's like a Hornet, like 500
to win. Yeah.
We're
150.
Yeah.
But I will say one thing. That's with the mod series that I work for, our base race is $2,000 to win, $200 to start. There is a $50 entry fee, but you don't get that anywhere in mod racing.
They're okay with that.
Yeah, you don't get that anywhere in mod racing. And the entry fee goes to the points fund. It pays $5,000 a win for 20 mod races, 22 mod races.
They're fine with that.
That's I tell people all the time, because we got guys that, like you're talking about, that pays $1,500 to win my mod show. Why would I come race with you guys for $2,000? I'm like, well, I got bad news for you. If we're not here, your $1,500 to win mod show is going to be an $800 win to mod show because it's supply and demand.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
So you guys got to support this stuff. I get what your aspect of it, but your $1,200 to win mod race pays $50 to start. And it pays $400 for second, where ours pays $2,000, $1,200, $800. Like, we have a regional late model payout. So that's one of those things.
That's another thing about the mods, though. Like, you said it earlier, the big dog. There was a lot of mod races. Brownstown always had a 5,000 once a year.
It was the 50 lapper, and then they'd stop on the front stretch and do fuel. And
Paragon had, or not Paragon,
Lincoln Park, the Patriot 100.
Yeah. You know this shit. I won a 3,000 at Hopstop. The only time I've ever won a freaking race at Hopstop in my life. They had a 3,000 mod race. There used to be bigger. I don't know where those are at anymore.
Well, Sam's got everybody buffaloed.
The Merle Downey is like the only thing I can think of.
Well, no, they've got the mystery race up in at
Shady Hill.
Shady Hill.
Yeah,
it's actually pretty cool. So the race is going to pay at minimum $4,000, but it's got an envelope. About like your drawing earlier. The winner, the guy holds 4 envelopes. Okay, it may pay $4,000, it may pay $10,000. You draw the envelope, and the check is in there.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. It's 60 laps.
Yeah.
Last year it was 2 years ago. I announced for the Sprint Car Series. Followaway won, and his dad was like, "Pick the third one." He picked the second one. It paid $4,000. The third one was $10,000. So he opened it up and goes, "This is what you would avoid."
There's a cool picture. I'd love to find it, and I bet his dad could. But when I was going down to Windy Hollow every Sunday, his dad was still racing mods all the time, and. Cole, he was just a little boy, like probably my son's age, like 5 or 6 or whatever. And we got a picture of me and him, and it's like he probably would have never thought one day me and him both would have been national champions. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool stuff.
Pretty cool.
So I could keep you here all night, and we could do this shit all night, but you got kids and you got family to tend to, you got a race car to work on, so we're not going to keep you all night. But this is the one part that I do get serious. And this is easy for you because you're looking right at the car. But who helps make this possible? Besides Papaw, we know Papaw makes it possible. But who helps make this possible and helps you get up and down the road? And Cody, he's going to come to Eldora anyways and pit next to you and let you know that you drew the wrong name.
We got a new one this year, Kessler Investment Groups. That was huge. Thank you for him for coming on. And then we got Jack's John's Portable Septic, Blondie's Pizzeria, Insole Tech, RJ Recycling, Blue River Beef, Color Me Happy by Cassie, Perry's Truck Service, Brown Oil Services, Tom Tremolian, Bia Headers, Spring Mill Veterinarian. Just everybody. We literally couldn't do it without all the help we have, and Ride Auto Parts and Hoosier Tire and Brown Oil, so just all the people. Just thankful for them and looking for a good year, man.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. There's like 307 track championships.
Yeah.
And he said he didn't run for a series championship, but he did. He ran for one and came down to the south and took y'all's money. 3-time UMP national champion, Kid Dasco Devin Gilpin. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right, Flash. That was Devin Gilpin, the Brownstown Dominators, so to speak. Kid Dasco. He's not a kid anymore.
No.
He's he's kind of like the old man now.
Yeah. Well, I was probably at his first race ever when he started racing at Thunder Valley. I was racing Thunder Valley at the time.
Yeah, that was it's crazy. I told him. It feels like I've been watching you for 20 years. Well, we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been 20 years.
That's what it's been.
20 years he's been doing this, and it's just absolutely crazy to think the little chubby kid on the front stretch has been doing this for 20 years and built up a resume that. It's definitely Brownstown Hall of Fame worthy. Yeah. But if he says he wants to do it for another decade, it may be National Dirt Late Model Hall of Fame worthy. By the time he's it's all said and done.
Yeah.
The family tradition, the sacrifice, and one thing that I will say, I know a lot of people wasn't a huge fan of Gilpin's when he was growing up. They thought he was a spoiled rich kid.
Yeah.
Didn't have to work for anything. That is a big misconception. He even alluded to it. I guess people don't think I need a ride because I've got a ride.
Yeah. Well, he's one of them guys that does more with less than almost anybody I know.
Yes.
And that the level he's racing at.
Yes, because
it's unreal.
I mean, 6 late model track championships
Yeah.
is almost unheard of. And he kind of downplayed it a little bit and said, well,
Yeah.
I look at the wins list because, the championships are a little easier to win now than they were. It's hard to win any championship.
You have to run every lap there race anyway, no matter what,
Yes.
no matter where you're at. So
and 3-time UMP modified national champion that just, took the modified world by storm.
Yeah.
Won the late model track championship at Eldora. His knock was always, well, he's just a Brownstown guy. Went down and won the Southern National.
Yeah.
A
lot of tracks that he'd never been on before.
Yeah, never been to none of them.
Right,
Never even seen them. So
that's pretty cool.
One of the most decorated regional late model racers in the country. Got a lot of respect for Kid Dasco, and especially on the budget and stuff that they do it on. It's not it's not all bells and whistles like everybody thinks it is.
Yeah.
And
his grandpa, he's a good fabricator too. I mean.
Yeah.
And just
it's Papaw.
Yeah.
It's Papaw. Not Grandpa. It's Papaw. It's Papaw. Yeah. From the famous Fleetwood family.
Yeah.
So, but whole family's involved in racing. I mean, his cousin used to promote the race.
Yeah.
Promotes Thunder Valley.
Yep.
Actually, I'll just go on the limb and say this. His cousin Mason Fleetwood is the one that actually made Thunder Valley what it is.
Oh yeah, he's brought the bigger cars there, and
because it was just a mini stock playground until Mason got it. Say what you want about him, but most people always do bitch about the promoter.
Yeah,
but I thought he did a hell of a job. So.
Oh yeah, it was open when he's there.
Yeah, it was definitely open. Yeah. I don't know who's been doing it lately.
Yeah,
but the doors was open. So this week's upcoming events, we're going to start off with our racetrack spotlight. And what better place than right there, Brownstown Speedway for the Indiana Icebreaker for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Car Series. There at Brownstown Speedway. This has been a racetrack spotlight one time before, but it's never a bad thing for the new listeners.
Especially with the big race coming up.
Yeah, for us to talk about the quarter mile that could be the best quarter mile in the country.
Yeah.
We even threw it out there to Devin Gilpin and said, hey, Kid Dasco, what about running with a wall at Brownstown? Hell, I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
So I got him thinking about it.
Yeah.
But yes, the one of the most historic dirt tracks in the country. Names that raced there weekly that was tough to beat. John Gill, Jim Curry, Steve Barnett, Mike Jewell, Don O'Neill. Yes, that O'Neill, the O'Neill racing family, Huddy's dad.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just the who's who of dirt late model racing.
I remember going there when I first started going up there, and they were running late models, just a regular show. On a regular show, 25 lap feature night, they would have 70 cars.
Yes, it
was unreal.
That was the heyday.
And there was 40 of them that could win easily.
Yes.
So it was crazy.
Yeah. So Brownstown
Sturgeon, all them guys was there too. I mean,
and one thing I will say about the Brownstown Speedway being a racetrack spotlight, I know a lot of people give Jim Price a hard time.
Yeah.
But guess what he's got? A successful damn racetrack.
Yeah.
He's got people in the stands and he's got race cars in the pits.
Right.
So get off the man's back.
Yeah.
And I don't know him from Adam. I've seen him at the drivers' meeting a couple times.
Yeah.
But this is not a sponsorship endorsement or nothing.
No.
I mean, get off the man's back. He does a hell of a job.
Yep.
So food choice is, well, there's two. I'm going to let Tanya pick one of these. The Sloppy Joe for me is the food choice.
Yeah.
But the chili cheese fries, it's not chili. It's Sloppy Joe, cheese, and fries.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to Brownstown Saturday, and if I do, my ass, the concession line will move there.
Yeah.
And the lemonade in the pits is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So that's Brownstown Speedway.
It's a cool place. Well, right now you can still sit in the nostalgic under the awning, or you can go sit in the nice bleachers coming off or it's just.
And they've put some new bleachers up in the pits and built stuff up. So
it's pretty nice. You can see really good from the pits now and everything. So it's a.
So that's this week's racetrack spotlight. Coming up Thursday through Saturday, United States Modified Touring Series at the Lucas Oil Speedway, the king of America Modifieds. That will be on Racing Dirt if you want to catch it. Trenton Berry. Next week we'll have the scoop We'll have the do's, the don'ts. Trent Barriers will be coming on next week's Pound the Cushion segment and let us know about the United States Modified Touring Series, King of America show. Friday night, the Lucas Oil Late Dirt Car Series is at the Atomic Speedway, the OKC Raceway. Flash and I have been there ourselves. So you got the Atomic Brownstown double for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series.
Yeah.
That will be on Flow Racing. And the Schaefer's Oil Spring Nationals is at the Thunder Hill Raceway in Thunder Hill, Tennessee. Fun fact, the only racetrack in Tennessee that I have not been to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to scratch that one off the list soon.
Yep.
But Thunder Hill Raceway, badass racetrack. Seen the videos there. That will be on Flow. Quarter mile. Actually, I think it's the third mile.
Yeah.
It's a little bit bigger than a quarter, but big high bank 3/8 races like a Midwest racetrack. Gets a big cushion up there. And then the World of Outlaw late models will be on Dirt Vision. Friday night they will be at East Alabama Motor Speedway, and then Saturday night they will be at the Sonoya Raceway in Sonoya, Georgia.
Yeah.
Actually, if the weather looks terrible up here, I'm not ruling out a trip to Sonoya this weekend. Yeah. For the lemonade, and see, they got boiled peanuts.
Yeah.
Tanya got a newfound love for boiled peanuts that we got down at Blackwater Speedway and Southern Raceway.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, babe, you want to go get some boiled peanuts?
She's been missing out all the time because they always have them at
Talladega
short track.
She never wanted to try them because I told her they were nasty because I didn't care for them. Sometimes the regular ones I don't, but the hot and Cajun spicy are damn good.
Yep.
So that's going on in Sonoya, and then hopefully this event happens, and the weather's nice this weekend. But the Midwest Thunder 410 non-wing sprint car season opener is at the Windy Hollow Speedway in Owensboro, Kentucky.
Yeah.
New dirt, new catch fence, new facelift. So hopefully the 410 non-wing sprint cars are ripping at the holler this weekend. So
yeah. And I was going to mention too that for these people that think like all the streaming hurts races, I can tell you right now it doesn't.
Yeah.
After being there this weekend.
Yeah, it was on. It was on Hunt the Front TV.
Yeah, and they had
and people were in the racetrack.
crowd. Yeah.
But I probably should have put this in the damn opener again.
Yeah.
Because I screwed it up at the end.
Yeah.
Guys, please like and subscribe. Subscribe on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Spotify, subscribe on iHeartRadio. We are getting close to 20,000 listens a week. 21,000 last week.
Yeah.
If you guys just hit the subscribe button, it don't cost you a dime. But if you hit it, guess what? We got enough listeners, enough stream hours, enough downloads that we're actually going to get a little bit of money off this.
Yeah.
So help us out. Tell your family, even if they don't want to listen.
Yeah.
Just have them go subscribe.
Yeah.
Okay? Because that will help us. But yes, so please tell somebody about us. The word of mouth is the best form of advertisement. We appreciate everybody talking about us. Went to the racetrack, Flash. Seen like 10 Trading Slider shirts at the Drone Friday.
That was pretty cool.
And Marcus, I'm sorry, I forgot to bring your shirt that you wore, that you paid for.
Billy, Billy wore a shirt last night when we went up to Florence.
So it's kind of weird seeing your stuff out there.
Yeah.
Like, damn, okay. But you got anything else?
No, I don't think so. Everybody get to the racetrack this weekend.
Yes.
If you go around here, it's going to be a little chilly, but they'll still be racing, I believe. So.
Not nothing a blanket can't fix.
That's right.
Support your local racetrack. Support a racetrack. It don't have to be your local racetrack, but get your ass in the gate this weekend somewhere. Until next time.
Yeah.
We'll be trading sliders.